I shouldn't let that fade out, but I'm working on that shit. Fucking, but here we are, baby. Second show today, live at
Nice.
the Boneyard, man. We got a returning guest. Probably don't need an introduction, but you might as well introduce yourself, Matt. And we'll go around the line here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Matt Miller. I play guitar in Chasm of Discord, and I'm also an instrumental solo artist. So I have a new record coming out soon. Check it out.
Yeah.
I'm Dan Cartwright. I am the CEO of Pure Metal Gods of Magazine.
Yeah. Now, originally I reached out to you, and then you were like, "Hey, I got a good buddy. It would be great for the show." That's fucking good old Matt. All right.
Oh,
Well, Matt's really cool. I got many friends. I was trying to think of who needs more promotion right now, and I'm like, Matt. Let's get Matt out there.
Yeah. Matt and I, we ran into each other, but just over a year ago now, maybe year and a half.
Yeah. I remember that, dude. It was, I remember the first interview. I think you were on a job somewhere, like doing metal roofing or something. Wasn't that what you were out doing? Or
Yeah. I would have been up in Thunder Bay, I believe, doing that one.
Yeah. Then you told me you were going on a epic vacation. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I did. So I ended up in fucking South Africa for a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
was epic, but it was probably one of the best times of my life that I've ever had, like on vacation, like.
When you went to South Africa, did you guys go deep sea fishing or anything like that? Because I did.
No, I basically sat there and drank and ate for 30 days in my compound. We'd go to town. We did a couple metal festivals,
That's
stuff.
awesome. Did you like a machine gun, dude?
Yeah, I wish where I stayed, they have a shooting range on site, and we got some really heavy rains while I was there. The shooting range is built underground in a bunker, and it fucking flooded out. It was like, so my time was spent pumping that fucker up, getting water and cleaning it up for them, right? But so next time I go, 100%, man, I'll be shooting all kinds of guns.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, when I was down there, I went deep sea fishing, and we ended up catching a great white.
Oh,
yeah.
And I was pulling it in, right? And it was kind of tripped out because I didn't know them damn things could jump.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like literally leaning over the boat trying to see what I caught, and this fucker just popped out of the water, almost got my head.
Oh wow!
Dude, there's like a thing on like Shark Week or whatever where they show videos of them things like getting massive air down there in South Africa. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way they attack the seals, I guess they come up from underneath it like full tilt, fucking up out of the water they come, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So with the magazine, this is why I originally reached out to you. It was so let's go in a little depth on how you ended up starting this magazine and getting into that.
Well, okay. The magazine, I just had surgery, so basically I wasn't doing nothing. I was just lying in bed for 6 months because I had three major surgeries, and basically the recovery time was just like, it's insane, 6 months and then a year for eternal. So I couldn't do much, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm bored. I wanted to do something, so I decided to take a group that I created back in 2018, and it was originally supposed to be the fan interactions with musicians like Jeff Becerra, Emilio Marquez from Possess, and Pissing Razors, and so on. So after that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I just, because I knew all the people, just started the magazine, and I was like, I'm not going to do the typical magazine, with the typical questions.
Yeah.
I was going to focus more on the instruments, the music, background stories. Just like when I interviewed Matt, we did a kind of a different style podcast. where we talk about touring, we talked about the music, and we talked about, you know, how to get out there as a musician and the mistakes that we normally make that we don't get signed. And
Hmm.
actually, Matt can testify to this. I'm getting people asking me, "Hey, where can I get this guy's CD? Where can I'm taking?" I had another group telling me, "You know what? I'm going to take Matt's advice. I'm going to start rehearsing more, find members that are going to work with me, or I'm going to convince them this is what needs to be so we can get out there." And that's basically the concept of the magazine, is to help all these underground bands get out there, mix them up with the well-known bands like Jeff Becerra. You read the article that I wrote about Jeff's life.
Yeah, it's definitely he's been through a lot, man. You know, like it's a testament to his willpower. You know that he's still out there and active and kicking ass, and it's definitely inspiring. And I think the last Possessed album was probably my favorite one that they've made. It's awesome. It was really good. It was like wow, I couldn't believe it. Honest.
Yeah, well, they're in the middle of making a new album at the moment, so I'm really like looking forward to hearing the new Possess.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
the last one was great. I mean, it's in my opinion, like I can't remember the title of the record, but that album and I think Monstrosity's Cosmic or yeah, I can't remember the non-existence or those are in my opinion, the two best newer records from old school bands, from legacy bands like that. Like those two records, that Possessed album and that Monstrosity album, amazing.
No, that's fantastic. Like, I know what you mean. You get bored, and you've been in the music industry and been around it so long. It's like, especially when you get time like that, sit around and think, right? It's like, what did I fucking do, baby? You know?
Yeah. Video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I mean, I sent you some of my music that, the group
Yeah.
never promoted ourselves, like through magazines or anything like that back in the early 90s. We did it by playing our shows, promoting ourselves, doing the tape trading and all that. And it worked out for us. And now it's like, okay, since we all retired, I'm uploading the music, but I'm
Hmm.
not promoting it. I'm letting the fans find it for themselves. Just
Yeah.
like the magazine, I'm not building it on the reputation of my name from my album. I'm using my middle name, which most people don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd rather keep it that way because I want the magazine to have its integrity and true fans. And, from Matt's fans to Possess to Venom Inc. to Khalad to Exandria. I mean, I
Well,
had some amazing friends that have actually helped out the magazine a lot, and I
mhm.
appreciate that.
No, it's same here. Like, I don't advertise the Boneyard and shit unless sometimes I'll say something when I'm at a bar, but everyone's got a podcast or a fucking Facebook channel and shit, right? So, but
Yeah,
I know
I
it
get
takes a
that.
lot longer to slowly build your audience, but you always end up getting a fucking fan club, basically, like diehard fans when it comes to that. So I'm like you. I'd rather grow organically through word of mouth, your friends. More like sharing the music, Oh, you gotta check this guy out, check that guy out. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And and I don't think I could do it any other way because a lot of people tell me, well, you need to do it this way. And then, like, I'm interviewing all the groups,
mm-hmm,
and all the groups are like, man, you're asking all the right questions, and it's not boring like the normal magazines.
mm-hmm. I get that a
So,
lot here with they'll ask you, what questions are you gonna ask? I'm like, I'm gonna ask your name and your band. Like, that's it, bud. And then we're just gonna roll from there, like.
and I think that's cool. It's like Matt's a different type of musician from
Mhm.
when I started out in the industry. We started out with actual tape. you know, in the recording process, not playing with a click track. So I've never played with a click track, and you know, I sent Matt a song because Matt's a great guitarist. And one that I worked on over the years, and Matt's on, you got this on click track? Could you re-record it? I'm like, and so I'm like, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and re-record that song. It's been like 12 years ago since I recorded it, and I ended up selling the reel to reel. Just before I sold it, I transferred 8 hours worth of tape, guitar instrumental pieces. But I got a pretty good chunk of change out of that tape, so I was happy.
That's all right.
Nice, man. Yeah. You know, embracing technology is a good thing. I mean, there's a line between where it's a hindrance, it's, a crutch. But I think, you know, metronomes have been around for a really long time.
And I was going to say, they've been around since the beginning, you know.
You know, like I guess the first metronome would be like the sun, like going across the sky or the moon or the stars. You know,
ours was a drummer.
You know, like measuring time or something. You know, like shit, most drummers can't play in time.
No.
That's the thing. You know, when I played with my drummer, it was you have all these imperfections, and I think the imperfections is what really makes a great song. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. And you know, define imperfection. You know, being ahead of the beater behind is one thing. You know, but if you're like playing, you know, the wrong stuff. You know, especially like playing guitar. If you're playing a song and you're like, you know, playing stuff that doesn't make any sense as far as like, you know,
just randomly slap and shit.
Yeah. Or it's like maybe real fast and stuff, or like, you know, you might be doing some crazy shit, but like if it doesn't add anything, you know, those are, I mean, happy accidents, and I mean, mistakes are in everything. I mean, you can, you know, I'm sure every time George Lucas watches Star Wars, he's like, damn it. You know, the edge of that popsicle stick hanging out there in the corner when we were filming the Death Star.
Well, when I seen Korn there the first time they played Falling Down, or Falling Away from Me, to hear that live version that night and actually hear when it finally came out on the CD, but like, not the same song. You know what I mean? Like,
well, especially nowadays with technology, it's like I think that most bands are recording music like that, where they'll learn it after the fact. Yeah, you know, like I don't think that you know, I don't think it's feasible anymore. You know, it's a shame, but you know, if you got especially bands with people all over the place, you know, it's like they don't rehearse unless they're going to go somewhere and tour. Or play a show somewhere that's
they're not getting together every fucking Saturday and Sunday and jamming
right, exactly like the way it should be, but it just isn't that way anymore, and it took me a really long time to accept that.
You know,
that's why I retired.
Gotta go, he says.
Well, I mean, it's I think that you know working with competent people in any context that you can is going to be huge. So I mean, you know,
I guess when you get to that level or that skill level, you can do that, I guess. You know, I like personally the camaraderie. I like getting together all the time, jamming, working through stuff, and even working out moves while you're on stage. All right, this part of the song, don't stand here because I'm running through. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Well, that's what this is actually really about. I mean, I think back in the old days, you know, like music, like especially playing metal, is like about like what it meant as far as like, you know, it's like, for example, like, you know, being in a band's like being on a team, like being on a sports team, like being on the football team or the baseball team or the basketball, you know, take your fucking pick. But, you know, it's like that was what made it cool. You know, unfortunately, you know, in the music industry, it seems like it's somewhat like that still, but everybody's in 4 different bands. You know, everybody works with, you know, multiple people. You know what I mean, that's been a really positive side of the home recording revolution, is that, you know, people can get their art out there.
I could send you music and you could go over top of it for me, send it back, and I sing to it, and now we have a single. You know, like
exactly. And good music's made, and unfortunately, a lot of good music's lost in the shuffle because there's a lot of bad music out there.
Yeah.
What I perceive as bad, but like you know, that used to be the thing. Like I watch or I listen to these things on YouTube with like Steve Lukather, the dude that was in Toto. Guy's hilarious, but he's was a session musician from in the 70s and the 80s. He's played on like thousands of records, and he was like, back in the old days in the studio, like you had to be good to be here. Like you had to be able to play. You wouldn't go in the studio and like not be able to perform and do your job. You know what I mean? And so it's a shame that there's a lot of good music out there, but there's some bad stuff too, and everybody kind of gets lost in the shuffle. That's why it's important, I think, to put your music out there and to try to promote it, so that if you believe in what you're doing, art's always subjective, of course. That you can increase your audience. I mean, I think the first step is to believe, to understand that this people do not make a lot of money doing this.
No,
they do it because they love it. That's the magazines, the radio things, all that.
Today's even their attention span today is 30 seconds or less. So
bands aren't even releasing albums anymore. They're going to start releasing singles. And if you look at like the Spotify stuff and like they changed. That's one thing I was interested in. What was interesting when I heard it was that they've changed the algorithms for Spotify, and they've changed the algorithms, especially for TikTok. If you like TikTok is huge, right? It's like, you gotta get on TikTok, this and that. If you play an instrument and you're on TikTok, you're not going to get the exposure or have the reach that you once had. They want most of it now. People like Milli Vanilliing to videos is what they want.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, the fucked up thing is, like.
But you see, and this is
good to watch. Don't get me wrong. Some of the videos are cool.
Yeah, but let's be honest. How do you get famous from lip syncing like Bella Porch? I mean, let's be honest.
You could just look at the pop fucking industry right now. Sure, they sing it within the studio, but when they're on stage dancing and jumping and doing flips, they're not singing that song, man.
No, dude.
And then
exactly.
Like Dickinson, Iron Maiden, that guy's 70 years old or whatever, 65 years old. He's running around and singing. You can tell, like when they're I like on today on the Google, I was like, reading the news, and it's like Taylor Swift, sings and jumps down this hole into a stage. He's like, come on, man.
Yeah, without missing a beat or a note, like how the fuck is that possible?
I mean, but he's been backing tracks since time began. I mean, ever since the the 80s and the MIDI technology. I mean, it's nothing new.
No.
The only difference is that nowadays the CD doesn't skip. That's the only difference, man. So I've seen it. And it's a shame, but it's the way that it goes, because another side of that home recording thing, another side of the technology thing is that people expect perfection now.
They do.
They do, and I get it. If I'm spending $300 to see Metallica, I mean, I know what I'm getting. I mean, that's a bad example, because I mean they, whatever. But
well, when Metallica went to play El Paso, man, they were charging like almost $1,200 just for the snake pit.
But you know what? More power to them if they can get that money for their product. I mean, that's awesome. That's capitalism.
And the thing is, nowadays they don't even need the promotion. They're already a worldwide fucking name. You know?
And that was a bad example on my part. But like, let's see what somebody else like. Who do you say? I mean, there's so many people that do it, and you can't really tell at like big venues. But when you play small places and they do stuff like that, you can definitely hear it.
I think it was.
Like, like a laptop over in the corner. You know what I mean? And the only person up there breaking a sweat's the drummer. I have respect for all the drummers in the world. Anybody that plays drums, nothing but respect there. Especially people that are playing live and touring and stuff. Like, those guys are true professionals.
Animals, man.
Yeah, for sure. They're the only ones that are really up there, selling it, man.
Yeah. Well, the Muppets betrayed it. Oh, I hit the button again. The Muppets betrayed it the best with their, they had an animal on drums who was just a machine. And most drummers are like that, man.
Who are your favorite drummers?
For me or Matt? We'll go with Matt there first. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite drummers. That's a tough question. Lord Marco, for sure. Good friend of mine. Worked with him. CrossFit professional. Josh Ward from Vorath, awesome drummer, total technical dude, but plays with awesome feel. And he's got really, really interesting like cymbal fills and stuff. Really, really cool. He can sing, plays guitar, awesome. Gene Hoagland, Richard Christie, Sean Reinert. Freaking those guys are all wondering death, and Gene Hudson and everything. Man,
You know all their names. I don't know a single drummer name, but I can tell you the band, tell you how much they're good. But...
Dude, I can name every member that's been in Megadeth. I can name everybody that's been in Death.
They're on the Canadian tour right now, baby. They're only doing one American show. It's all across Canada, though, yeah. Montreal, Ottawa, they're doing Toronto, right? I'm pretty sure they're going out west before they go to Europe, right? So.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, dude. So I'm a music nerd, but there's so many people. I mean, like there's, the dude from Flesh God Apocalypse. Francisco
yeah, he's a really good drummer.
Yeah, he's good, dude. Samus is good. I mean, there's just so much. Hannes Grossman's killer. All those. That's the thing. Like, drums are one of those things, in my opinion, where the people that are good at it, just it's just remarkable how really talented these people are. I can really do this.
Get into like 32-piece drum set and shit. I wouldn't even know where I was.
More, man. Like smaller kits, but maximum, simple but effective. That's Ryan Sinnott's an awesome drummer. The dude that's playing for Rings of Saturn is a killer drummer too. And there's Dominic from Extortionist. Another awesome drummer. There's just so many people out there, dude.
It's phenomenal the size of the scene. Like if you get off the mainstream radio and actually go look for some music nowadays, like we know much music doesn't do that for us no more. We actually have to do it ourselves now,
Cruising the metal archives is a good way to find bands. Encyclopedia Metallum. There's a lot of good bands in that. It's by Canadian. One of my favorite Canadian drummers, Paul Mornier from Cryptopsy.
Oh yeah,
awesome drummer, and Spencer Pruitt from Archspire. Those dudes, cool. Straight up.
For me, I liked anything from Iron Maiden, Megadeth, David Lombardo, of course, Mike Browning, Pete Sandoval, Emilio Marquez, and the newer drummers that are coming out, like one of the groups from Azteca, Calad's drummers. Great musicians. Who is one of the other ones? The guys from Prophecy that I'm working with right now on a new article. Their new drummer is amazing too. It's like that dude's on steroids or something. If you haven't heard him play, man, he's like,
just crazy, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. What about you, TJ?
I've always been a big fan of like the old school drummers. Buddy from fucking Led Zeppelin. I loved how he played. Very unique style, right? And then a guy from Slipknot was always a big fucking inspiration when I was watching drums, especially at that age, just getting into music in the 90s and like fully embracing the scene, Definitely Megadeth, man. They got a fantastic guy there, right? And one of the local bands here, man, Last Dance Amongst Wolves, their drummer Dave, he's definitely someone to keep an eye on and watch, man. He's going to be collabing with me once I get the shit finalized in the studio and sent over to him finally, right? So, looking forward to that. That'll be done by the end of this year, right? The new single's ready to come out. I'm just working on the video, working with a guy out of Ireland who just did a bunch of stuff for us as far as digital videoing and stuff for us. And then once I'm able to release those ones, then we'll have the full-on video for the song. Going to be working on that in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have that come out too. And we actually just used the drum track for that one. It was just fucking throwing a random beat. Here you go. Didn't even have a drummer that night, So technology is pretty good.
I'm telling you, man, I made 8 albums with using program drums. I mean, I programmed them myself, note for note, but I mean, that's why drummers are so respected. A good drummer is hard to find, man.
And the bass players too. to find
Yeah,
that
dude,
bass player that can come right out and
yeah.
play it
Dude,
like a lead guitar.
Guitar players are a dime a dozen. There's a
I
million
know.
guitar players in the world. I mean, there really is. And so it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But like good drums, that'll make your band. If you have a good drummer and a crappy guitar player, your band will go further. If you have a great guitar player and a crappy drummer, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Or even bass player too, dude. Like everything's on displays.
Yeah, very hard to find. There's the drummer and the bass player are always in a couple bands.
Oh yeah, dude. Any drum, dude. Yeah, good luck finding a good drum. I mean, they're out there, but like, yeah, those dudes are employed. You know what I mean? Like they're doing real.
Hey Matt, what did you think of that new MIDI program, that plugin, that real-time?
To be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to check it out. I think I've seen that thing before. They make a pickup that goes on your guitar that'll transcribe the notes with MIDI. It's been around for a while. I honestly didn't have a chance to watch the video. I had to run some errands real quick. My spring break over here, so I just
well, what I like about this one, it's basically it's a plug and play. So it's actually transcribing everything. You don't need additional hardware. It splits your amp and your signal. So it's really cool that Jams, forgot the name of it, Jam something, but yeah, it's like a guitar MIDI to guitar 2 plugin. Yeah. It's really cool though.
Yeah, and that's really cool because for the way I do things, I have to notate it all. Like if I could just play it and it would show up on the screen, it'd be really cool. But I guess the one thing about doing it the way that I do it is I know that what I'm playing is in time. And like when I'm building my drum tracks and stuff, I'm sure the other thing's cool too. I'm sure it does all that stuff, but like, just on face value, like I think it would be hard sometimes to capture the feel because even with like notating stuff, like writing it down, even with all the notes being right, whatever that means, it's hard to replicate the human feel. You know what I mean? It's hard to get that across. I think that's the hardest thing for me anyway, is to go, oh, well, this is how I hear it. This is how I play it with a metronome, but it's still like there's a fine line of like, well, is it actually this or is it actually that? So if that can actually replicate the human feel thing, that's really, really cool.
Oh, and that's the thing when I was checking it out, as doing more research on it, that one guitarist, he was actually playing everything in real time on the YouTube video, and it was like, holy crap, he was doing bends. He's all, you just got to watch out what programs.
Cool. That's really cool. I'll definitely check that out later, dude. I appreciate you sending it to me, but full disclosure, I had to run some errands, take my kid.
Don't worry about it.
No, but I appreciate you sending stuff like that my way, and it's really cool that even though people don't talk all the time, that in the musician community, in the metal community, people are always, hey, that'd be cool, for Rob to see, or Bill. You know what I mean? That's what makes this world go around.
Mm-hmm.
People interacting together, supporting one another in their endeavors.
Well, you see, that's back in the 80s and early 80s, late 80s, and the early 90s, that's how it was. I mean, we had something cool and we're sharing it. We did it because we knew, hey, okay, like I can play keyboards. Both of you probably can play a little bit.
I can play a little tiny bit of piano and keyboard, just a few things. But nothing.
Let's be honest, we're masters at guitar and bass more than a keyboard. So this program allows us to use our actual instrument and play it like it's a piano.
Oh wow!
And we can just flow through it without any problems, because when I stretch my fingers for that piano keys, I'm still like, I'm kind of there, but not really.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just an awkward feeling being flat and my palms up instead of my palms toward me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like unnatural compared,
Yeah. Exactly. So, if I can actually use my guitar or a bass and play everything the way I want it, well, it'll be even better. And I was thinking of Matt because it was like, yeah, Matt could do so much with this plugin because of the way he plays.
Mm.
Well, and I appreciate that, dude. And I kind of do something similar because I write everything down. Like that's how I make these albums. Is I write everything I play on the guitar. I notate, and to try to be different and try to think differently, which is at this point becoming routine. So I'm gonna have to find something else. But I'll like come up with an additional idea for a riff or a melody, and I'll notate it, and then I'll put my guitar down and write the rest of it without having my guitar, because I'm trying to think differently. I'm trying to not play the same old thing. And I think it was cool for a couple albums, but now it's kind of like I find myself going, well, I'm doing the same thing again. And actually having a tool like that where it in real time, without me having to edit or enter the information, because that's essentially what it does, is that it puts it on the MIDI grid. It turns it into a piano roll.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have this idea of like making it like, okay, I've got all these albums that I've made of my own music. I thought about making. I like lo-fi, like darkwave, 80s synth sound and stuff. I think it sounds really freaking cool. And I'm like, oh, dude, I could take all the albums I've made, all the songs that are mine, and turn them into and have alternate versions that are like EDM influenced or like darkwave, because I have all that shit written down, so I could stick it in like a MIDI reader in my DAW and inside my keyboard, and it would actually play that. So in some of the songs I've done in the past that have like on Monument of Velocity, they're my last instrumental album, there's synth parts in there, and there's keyboard parts. Some of those parts were from the notation that I notated for my guitar, and I would put them in there, and then I'd have like a synthesizer play those parts, and it would make it sound really cool. Like in the Obscurantists, there's a bunch of that going on to make that rhythm more grindy, and just by like playing the bass line through like some old it's a plug-in, but like it was like some old like synthesizer from the 80s, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So tools with the MIDI technology. MIDI's been around since the early 80s, maybe late 70s. That stuff's really cool, and that's part of it. It's a big part of the music industry now, doing stuff like that. But anybody out there that's notating your music, if you want to make an electronic version of your album, you already have everything you need to do it right there, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I love that industrial feel, though, man. I'm a huge industrial fan.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah. We got our first caller of the night. I had
go ahead.
Last week, my buddy called me fucking while I was on the line. I had to hang up on him there.
Talk in the chat.
Yeah. But
yeah, man. Like, have you ever seen that movie Interstellar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The soundtrack to that movie. That's exactly what I'm for like point of reference.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And all the wheedly parts will still be there too. But I was listening to this electronic band called Nightlight, and they redid the entire Symbolic album by Death. Like dark wave stuff. It was freaking killer. I think they're from Canada too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, check it out, man. It's really, really freaking cool. It's Nightlight, N-I-T-E. Like that.
Send me the link later on.
Yeah, it's really freaking cool. Like I was like, dude, and they even do the vocal lines and stuff, and like, it's not like like Gene Hogg was like it's there, but it's like more grindy. Like the everything's the right speed, but it's not. It doesn't sound like. I mean, you can tell it's Death, but it's not like an 8-bit like Castlevania Death. It's more like industrial, dark, grinding. Like that kind of sound Death. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
I heard something the other day. I was cruising down, and they were playing some old school 80s fucking metal. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this one's influenced by Castlevania."
Oh yeah,
like the game, man. I was like, "What?" I fucking driving down the road, I can't even remember what it was. I'll find out though, because that. No matter what station you listen to, you hear the same shit over and over, right?
Yeah, dude, freaking that's one thing that I hear all the time is like people tell me, oh, it sounds like video game music, like my instrumental stuff, and that's kind of like what gave me the inspiration to do the 8-bit thing. It's like, yeah, man, there you go, So other people are like, hey,
yeah, good idea. That's such a wide market. You hit everybody when you hit that market,
dude.
Right? Like literally everybody.
Dude, like in how many like old school 80s video games, 80s music had killer synth, like all of it did.
Yeah, right.
What I mean? So it's like they've been doing that for 40 years now. Might as well,
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Right.
Possibly on everything.
That'd be pretty wild though. Do a fucking
cool.
Do a game soundtrack.
Yeah, like Cyberpunk. They had a thing going where you can send your music, and unfortunately, like a fool, I was.
Never did, right? But next time,
damn right.
So as how do you come across these where you can advertise, where you can apply for this shit? Like,
it's crazy. Like you'll see like on Facebook, like
yeah.
ads. Like
I always figure they're all fake. Everything I see on
Okay.
Facebook.
All right. So, well, this is like some of this stuff's actually legit. Like, I remember a long time ago, there was a contest that was for like this award for music thing that they were trying to find new music, and this is back in 2015, which sounds like a long time. It doesn't sound like a long time ago, but it is.
Yeah.
It makes me feel old.
It is,
like,
yeah, wow, man, yeah.
Almost a decade. Anyway, so back 100 years ago, yeah, dude, they had this thing. They're like, enter your music to see if it'll win like this award thing. And I was like, yeah, it's probably a scam. And I read the comments, and some people were like, it's a scam, and some people were like, it's not a scam. So I'm like, whatever. So I ended, they cost me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered the song. I won a freaking award, dude. And they like sent me some money and like give me a plaque.
Oh,
So you never know,
man.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
No kidding, man. And I didn't have to spend a dime. And usually, if you don't have to spend any money, you know things are real. Because as soon as people want money, like you get those things like.
Yeah, it only cost you $20.
We like your music, and it's really good, but you know, and we want to work with you. And then it's like after you get a few of those, you're like, how much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they all want it. Nobody does anything out of kindness of their heart. And there's really good PR people out there that people, you know, that's I'd say that's one thing that separates people that are able to give themselves opportunities versus people that don't, is that if you can afford to monetarily, I mean, and money is the thing that gives you access, but it's not the thing that you can't buy good talent. You can't buy, you know what I mean? The stuff that you can't pay for is what really matters.
Your fans will see very quickly whether you bought your way into the industry or you fucking worked your way into the industry.
That's exactly right. But the bottom line, in my opinion, is that it takes some capital to open some of those doors.
Mm-hmm.
And once those doors are open, you better be, if you're going in those, either you better have the money to keep faking it till you can get there, or you better freaking go haul in, and you know, you better be able to pull your own weight.
Like friends of mine, in their band, they got bumped out of a tour because the other band paid so much cash to get on the tour.
Oh, they're doing the play to pay.
Yeah, man. I was like, what the fuck? I was so bad when I heard that. I'm not even involved, but I was just angry. I was like, no fucking way.
But did they have a contract on that with the other with the group?
I think they were ready to finalize everything, and then next minute they were off the tour, and the contract was, I guess, never fully signed or fully agreed upon. The last minute kind of deal. But yeah, they got screwed out of that tour. It was only like 6 shows or something throughout Ontario here, man. But yeah, right.
But still, 6 shows is, I mean,
yeah.
Let's see, 1,000 people. Let's say 1,000 to 5,000 people between a club and a bigger venue.
Yeah, between all the venues, but
but still, that's new targeted audiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's another downside of the music industry changing, is that now that people, you know, record sales aren't there anymore, you know, like CD sales and like merch and stuff like that. Like, what I'm trying to say is that it's unfortunately become a normal thing for that to happen for people that are just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wants to take a chance. You know, hopefully when people do things like that they are guaranteed that they're making when they do play, is covering the cost of that. But because, you know, fortunately, you know, I don't have to do that kind of stuff. But you know, people in the past have, like, you know, that is the mobile equivalent of selling tickets before a show.
Yeah.
Well, you know, let me ask you a question, Matt.
Sure.
When you were on tour and you had merch sale, right?
Yeah.
Who's monitoring that, and also how much of that were you dividing between the venue? Because, you know, some venues require a piece of your merch, and it's not right, because look, you're getting your show, you're playing and all that, but your venue, your merchandise is your merchandise. Why should I split my money to the venue? Why?
I don't have an argument for it to say that's right, but let me say this. Every time it was asked, we knew about it straight up. In some places asked, in some places didn't. So obviously, in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, that some venues are okay with it and some venues aren't. And that says that, it's not, I don't think at that point last year, it may not have been an industry standard thing yet. And I don't know if it's one now. I'll probably I'm going to be finding out here real soon. But, I think after the COVID thing and this is where I think this is new from then. People are trying to keep the lights on and people are trying to keep the venues going, and they're trying to find any way that they can. Do I think that it's fair or right to be charging bands money for them to sell merch at the shows? No, I don't. But if it's going to be like, hey man, your guarantee was this amount and we can't afford to have you play at that amount, we're asking for some reciprocation off what you sell, because you're essentially you're using our building or our venue as a way for you to sell your stuff. Like, I guess they could charge a flat fee for renting a space, for people to sell their stuff. I don't know what the answer is. Do I think it's right? No, but what's the motive? My thing is what's the motivation behind it? Like, if what I mean, like why? If they're like, listen, we're trying to, this money here is going to go to pay the people that are putting the show on, that are moving your crap around and like running the lights and shit like that. Okay, I get it. I do. I understand it. If they're paying the people there to they're facilitating the show now, on the other hand, you could say these are their employees and this and that.
No, is that something you know ahead of time before you get to the bar or the venue, or is that something you find out at the venue?
In my experience, it was, I do not recall, I could be wrong, but I do not recall ever on the day sheet, the day of the show or the day before. I don't ever really seen it remember seeing it on a sheet. Now there was a few of them, so I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
But normally, look, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Matt, but here's my thing. If it's you or your staff selling it, okay, I can see where we should keep our money, but why should we split it if it's not someone from the venue staff selling your merch? Does that make sense?
No, that totally makes sense. That makes sense.
I think the other side of the argument would be the venue staff was setting your drum set up and doing your sound check and running your lights for you. If they provide that.
If that's where that money's going for. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say, is that I agree with you, Dan, but also the hand though too. It's like, who's getting that money and why are they getting it? And if they don't ever want to say whatever, so I guess in a black and white perfect world, do I think it's right? No, I don't think it's right. But if they said, hey, we're asking for a gratuity for the crew, and those people are there doing their job and helping you and everything like that, I wouldn't be opposed to kicking them $20 if that's
if it's going towards something like that.
Yeah.
Not to be selfish, but that benefits your band while you're there, to have the crew set up and down, or you could waive it, do it all yourself, right?
Or if they say, hey, here's one other side of that coin. It's let's say everybody gets a buyout.
Yeah.
So the venue's like, hey, we're going to feed you, or we'll give you money if we don't feed you.
I'm really big on offering the food and your place to stay, and then we'll talk about money after that.
Well, but if you're from my experience this last time, it was you get a guarantee and then you get a buyout. So, and I get paid to play, and then I would get a certain amount of money or food.
See, that's how we're doing our thing this year. We're paying the bands this year and offering the food and a place to stay.
That's really
and then
cool.
They sell their merch. They sell their merch, and then right.
But is that a one show or is that a tour?
That's a one show deal, right? So if we were on tour and I was doing all that, you're definitely giving me a piece of something, man. Because one day or a weekend kind of thing, I don't mind. I'm already partying that weekend. I might as well make it awesome for everybody.
Exactly. So
if I'm setting you up, say Toronto, then we're going to Montreal and Ottawa and then California, well, I'm not doing that shit for free. I'll tell you that, right?
Exactly right. Exactly. And that's my point. So it's okay, maybe the venue say this. The promoters who are doing this. Okay, let's say you'll get your guarantee, but we won't give you a buyout.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that it's a bad, it's a slow night because they happen.
Oh yeah,
sell a bunch of merch, but you're still on the hook for a dollar amount or a percentage. Well, if you don't meet the percentage in merch sales that they want, that money's going to come out of your pocket, or they'll take it out of your guarantee.
And that hurts your tour in that sense, getting to the
worse.
next gig or eating.
Right.
Even eating your next meal, like you're on the road, it's not like you have a kitchen and a fucking,
dude, unless you're freaking like in a huge bus and you're towing a trailer, like behind a U-Haul van or like a Hertz, that's how most of this is done. Unless you're like a legacy band that's, got a bus and a bandwagon and everything else with like, towing a trailer that's got 40 different T-shirt designs in it, shit. Right. So it's like you start taking money out of your guarantee. Sometimes that money's going for food or gas to get to the next one. When you're driving, 8 to 12 hours a day or more.
You're not flying every venue.
You're not flying
right.
Okay, how's this? We'll take 15% of your merch sales, or you guys don't get your guarantee, or your buyout. Sometimes if they don't give you food and they give you cash, that's even better because you can stick the money in your pocket and have a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, and get $10 of gas, so you're getting two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Versus okay, well we're on the hook because all the merch prices are known for the most part. From my experience, could be wrong. You know what you're selling your stuff for before the tour starts. The day of the first show. So if you're on the hook for a percentage or X amount of money and you don't make that, they're going to take that out of your guarantee, or they'll just take your buyout. So it's like this. So let's say your buyout's enough to let's say your buyout's $100, but you're on the hook for $100 worth of merch. You don't sell any merch, they're taking your buyout. So it's it can go either way. Do I think it's right? Simply no, but what's the reason why?
That's why now when I reach out to the venues to set up, like we're working on one out down there in Applewood, California. We're just working out the bands, making sure all the bands are going to come and everything. But it's with the venue, we decided to just go as donations, and then the donations would be split up. The bands keep the merch, and then the promoter, whoever brings that band, deals with paying that band and shit. So me bringing the bands from Canada here, I've already worked out travel and everything with them, and then you'll make your merch money. If anything, you get a free ride down to California and back, baby. And you get to play on a stage. And
that's the way to. That's the positives. Anybody listening that's in a band, that's what this is about, right there. What DJ just said.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. You're going out of town to play. It's a vacation. It's a, it's getting out to do what you love to do. That's what this is about. Anybody that's complaining about merch cuts and this and that, it sucks. It does suck, especially if you make a lot of money or you don't. It does suck. But the bottom line is that we're able to do this. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah.
By the way, I was going to ask you guys, Matt, you're doing a Canadian tour, right? That's coming up.
Possibly don't. I can't say anything more, but there's some stuff that's going on right now that hopefully we'll know soon.
Okay. What about South Mexico? Down there and all that.
Nothing on my radar as of yet. There was some talk about doing some stuff. I've got a lot of things going on, and like anything else in this world, nothing's guaranteed until it happens.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be the guy to say anything and then nothing pans out, because usually every time I open my mouth and say something like that, it doesn't work.
I know. I gotta try and watch what festival I talk about or what I'm doing because it's like, fuck, I don't know if it's happening yet.
Right.
What about you, TJ?
Oh,
yeah, same question. You got anything planned for like Mexico, South America, or anything like that, or you just stick?
I'm working on getting down there to even scope out the music scene and get to know some people. Right now, I'm kind of got the U.S. locking that down, trying to get my Canadian stuff set up so I can set up a full tour for somebody, right? But overseas, once again, that'd be single shows with these bands or those bands. Like I couldn't set up a whole tour yet, but we're working on that. If I can line it up we do like a North American and Ireland, and then fucking South America, and then back home again, right? But
Yeah, send me some of your music, TJ. I know a couple of promoters down there in Mexico and South America and all that.
oh,
So.
sweet man. If they're looking for more outlets, send them our way. I'll hook you up with Hollywood, who does all our scheduling and behind the scenes stuff for us, and we'll set up some dates, start promotion. I love getting into the international stuff like that, like dealing with some of the bands from South Africa there with Stone Daisy and that, Ren and them out of Ireland, and then you got Simon and them out of fucking Sweden, right?
Yeah, because I remember I talked to Matt about this. If he does any shows over there in Mexico, to let me know, because I got 2 good support bands to open act for him. You know.
Yeah, man. Like I said, dude. There's I've got stuff going. Hopefully to be down there, man. Like it's just a matter of waiting around and waiting for the time. But definitely, I remember that you had mentioned that in the past, and I can't remember what the name of the bands were.
Khaled and Azteca.
Azteca, that's right. Okay, I thought one was that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they just got done touring with Apocalyptic Godflesh.
I was gonna say I just seen them come up on my playlist there as new bands to check out or whatever it was. So that's cool that you mentioned them, because they just came up on my music today. So I was gonna be checking them out tonight, right?
Believe it or not, they're one of the first groups to do an interview with me when I started the magazine back in November. So
that's fantastic. I remember my
they're
first
an awesome
band.
group.
But yeah, if you want to set up some shows down, like I got a couple good heavy metal bands, which I'm having a hard time finding a venue that will let me do my Death Fest. You know, like if I gotta bring them down to Mexico, we could all set up something, get Matt on the bill, right? Get 2 of the good bands from here, maybe 3 from here, and then I'll come down to Mexico for a couple days or a weekend or a week or whole month if you wanted. Right.
Might not go home.
Yeah, man.
TJ, I'd like to set up Azteca to do an interview with you guys one day on the Boneyard and Khaled. That way, you guys, they give it more exposure in Canada and the United States as well.
That's why everyone, like, as much as I focus on Canadian bands, I try to get more of the international bands in as well, because then we get exposure over there when they share our shit, and then now they see your band on my show, and then now you're getting the exposure over there and over here now, right? So it's all that cross pollination, man. So definitely we'll get in touch after the show, and
we'll work out something. Because I know Maggie, she's a really good promoter in Mexico. I got to be a part of the first Hawaiian Metal Fest over there in Hawaii.
Oh, bud. We have definitely got to work together, my friend. We'll do Mexico and Hawaii.
There's some pretty cool stuff in Nepal too. Like there's a couple of really big death fests over there too. Like I can't remember the fellow's name, but I talked to him a couple of years ago about going over there, and dude, like I look for his stuff, but yeah, man, music's everywhere.
If you go to my website, www.puremetal.com, and when you go to the main page, you'll see Kill Sound Productions. Go ahead and click on that link. It'll take you to Maggie's website, and
nice.
She does Metal Fest in Hawaii, London, Mexico, and
my
stuff
God.
like that.
I would love to get in touch with her and pick her brain and maybe collab on some shows with her for sure, man.
Yeah, I've known her for
I'm kind of stretching out to now. I know enough people from doing this and interviewing and meet this guy, talk to this guy, that I'm able to start putting shows together now, which is exciting. So we're looking at land this year. The end of this year, I'm going to work my ass off for the season and bank every dollar I got and start building our own stage. But
TJ, I got a question. Can you text me your website so I can get a viewer to watch it? Because they're like, hey, send me the link so I can watch it.
Oh yeah. Right
Because the
now,
one that I got is to join, and I don't want them joining in on it. You know what I mean?
the stream. Tell them just
Yeah.
go right to the boneyard, that the face
Okay.
page link I sent you earlier, and then it should be the first thing that pops up. Will be live, right?
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, no rush. Oh, I got all day, but I'm all I got to do is take the truck in to get it serviced tomorrow, and I think that's my day. So, all right.
Party
But
time.
I would love to get something south of the border, man, because my one buddy out of Fortunate Losers there, Devin, I spent a lot of time with him working on their tour bus, getting them ready for this year, right? And he keeps bugging me to get a. He just wants to go to Mexico. He's like, "Buy land in Mexico, man. Come on." It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, I got connections in the Philippines too. So,
Oh,
you want,
nice.
so if you want to go there,
Yeah.
I know Dejan, she's a promoter. She does, and this is more for Matt because she's all into the death metal, the more technical music and stuff like that. I'll get a hold of DJ and see if she got something for your style because I'm not sure what style you do, TJ. You
I'm
know,
more of like when it comes to my music, I'm kind of all over the board because once again I collab with everybody, right? So once my stuff is ready, it's going out to all these different bands. So I'm actually Shannon Hudd. She does a lot of techno and good vibe music, I guess. And then I'm going to the other end with Dead Man's Prophecy and Thy Enemy, right down the death metal rabbit hole. So I'm kind of taking all my songs over the years and picking ones out of the. You could really tell the time in my life when I was really angry, and then now my music, I'm really calm and relaxed. It's still fast, but it's not. It doesn't have that anger behind it anymore, right?
yeah. I know where you're coming from. I mean, I do know where you're coming. I was just listening to one of my old songs, and I was like, "Damn, man, I was really fucking angry back then."
Yeah, I kind of was like, what is it? Burn motherfuck. But
Yeah,
I gotta change the name because Dope come out with that one, or Die Motherfucker Die. It's like they sound too close together in names, man. I gotta change that up. But
yeah.
I love that song.
I'm seeing some viewers join in, so I want to give them a shout out and say
Oh yeah.
hello to you all for joining. Kevin, let's see who else.
Kevin,
Hollywood,
once again,
Allison.
is one of those loyal motherfuckers that have been around and watches every show and reaches out to every band and says hello.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Freaking, oh, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say he probably reached out to you the first time you were on the show, probably shortly after the show, right?
Yeah. There was somebody just recently on my YouTube that hit me up and said that they saw the one of the interviews that we did.
Nice.
There's actually been a couple from yours too, Dan, and so I appreciate you guys, helping me out too, man. So
yeah, of course, man. Even if we get you one or two, we did. I'm trying, I'm just trying to give back because music gave me so much over the years, man. The least I could do is give back something. So this is my contribute to it, right?
Absolutely, man. No, it's all, and it all reciprocates, dude. Like, every time that somebody does something for somebody else, it's always beneficial for everyone. I finally got a live band together, and the guys are in a couple of different bands, and it's like, no, talk about your stuff, man. Everything's good for everyone else. It's not like we're all on island to ourselves.
Sometimes I'll get a guest, and they're the one guy in the band that's in 6 different bands, so that we end up talking about all 6 bands, Yeah, right.
Right.
But what's your favorite part about being on the road, man? Like, I know there's so much to bitch and chew about the road just because I live on the road, right? So.
Oh yeah.
Are you talking to Matt or me?
Both of you. We'll go both. We'll throw that out at both of you.
Go for it, Dan. Go right ahead, man.
My favorite thing about touring, and it was being able to wake up in a different city and have breakfast, go play a show, hang out with friends, get drunk, get laid. That was my favorite thing, man.
Right.
I didn't have really any complaints except for when we got screwed by our managers,
Yeah.
and that was my only time. But I mean, for the most part, I was always happy on tour. I'd rather be on tour and traveling than be at home. And I gave most of my life with my group touring, and
Mhm.
I made some big sacrifices to make my dreams come true.
Absolutely.
You, Matt?
My touring experiences have been different. Like, I didn't really party. I didn't, there wasn't any like conquests of any kind other than, each day. Like, I mean, my favorite part is being done playing, leaving the show and driving as far as you can before you have to stop.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of it because just the adrenaline from like, you're tired. I mean, you're tired a lot too, but like just the vibe of like, always moving forward, pushing forward. How much, just the test of, of consistency and quality while living life on the run. Man, that's what it's like. Is
Mhm.
I,
I've
I
always
like.
found it's like taking me back to my like that wanderer, or
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
What's over the
uh,
next horizon, man?
mhm.
Absolutely. That's a big part of it for me too. Is like, most of the time, every time I ever saw anything was at night because that's when
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what I
during
mean.
the day I'd normally kind of half-ass sleeping, resting up, go
Exactly.
get something to
Right.
eat, and then hit
Right.
the road
Or
in the afternoon, bud, and drive all
yeah.
night.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. Absolutely. Or like you get to a place that's the city. You don't see anything other than like, and you get on the East Coast or in any major city. You've seen one major city. You've seen them all, dude.
Yeah. Or
You know
that
what I mean?
hotel room is always the same. It's fucking
Exactly.
curtain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. You're there for dude. You're there for 4 hours and then you're gone again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's like. And the truck stops at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of nowhere, where that's always cool. Just the
Sketchy
vibe
as
of like,
fuck,
yeah,
eating fucking roast beef and mashed potatoes, like the biggest meal. I love
yeah,
the food on the road, like when you hit
yeah,
those truck stops and shit. I'm
oh
not
yeah,
talking like McDonald's and garbage,
no, no,
like,
no, no, yeah, yeah. Like, do you remember like where were we? Like in Ohio or somewhere like that? Like the Oasis over there, that where they had like
mhm.
you like walk in there and be like a Dunkin' Donuts. Or they have like restaurants and shit in there too. And it's I just
Yeah,
like like you were saying, dude, like just the idea of like the wander, the adventure, you know what I mean? And getting to play music for 40 minutes or half an hour, and then just the adrenaline rush from that. But like to me, it's not like I wish it would have been a party, but it wasn't. But I think just the
mhm.
whole like just like the explorer, the adventure to me is
Yeah.
really
My first time on the road when I did my first big tour, I partied the whole thing, barely remembering nothing. But like, and I wish I didn't at this point. But now that I've really cut back and kind of stopped drinking and shit, the couple things I've done and looking forward to this year, I'm gonna remember that. Like,
absolutely, dude. Yeah. Well, dude, I don't know. Like when I toured, like I was, it was a lot because it was like me and another dude. Like I didn't have a big
mm-hmm.
group. Like we were constantly having to go, dude. So like we couldn't like either one of us was asleep or awake driving, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a nice bus or anything like that. So like it was freaking really like turn and burn, like just go, go, go. And that's why I didn't really party. I mean, the only time I did party once in New York when we were in New York City, which was cool. We played at La Poison Rouge in right off of Broadway, dude. Like,
What's one thing to have a beer or two or
yeah,
a couple shots, but like
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I
need to
mean,
drink that case of beer today. Like
the only time that the only time that I really had a good, like, I mean, I had a good time, but the only time I really partied, I remember making it through the Holland Tunnel, dude, and passed out.
yeah, right. I
It's
was
like
cold.
we're heading the right direction. I'm calling it, dude. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah,
was,
yeah. I'll see you in the
that was,
morning.
yeah. We drove. I think where did we drive? We drove to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
from New York. And dude, like
I
it
like
was
Pennsylvania though. It's a nice state, man.
that's a lot,
Yeah, I
dude.
like it.
So, dude, we drove from Pittsburgh to Boston, and that was
Yeah.
another long.
We were
That was
talking earlier, like El Paso, my favorite state, man. I don't know what it was when I was there, probably because I fell in love.
like that
But
Murray Robbins story,
right?
And
Fantastic down
let
there.
me ask you a question. What is your first show and with who? And what do you remember about that first show?
For me, the first interview or anything I did, I went down and interviewed band. Shit, I can't. They're not even a band no more. The one guy went to prison for manslaughter and shit like that. But yeah, I remember being pissed. I went to the fucking store to pick up beers and shit before the interview, right? Well, there was a dude arguing with his wife or girlfriend, and she's trying to stab him and shit. And I'm like, hold on, man, just trying to buy some beers. Kind of walk between them, go in, and then I bought the case of beer. I get there, and it was little baby cans. You get these little cans of Coke and shit.
Oh,
yeah. That's what it was, man. I was like, what the fuck was this? Then the one guy was so tweaked out, he didn't even talk. He just sat there with his eyes bulging out of his head, playing his guitar in the background. So me and the bass talked, and then I got the fuck out of there. I'm like, I gotta go, man. Went back to my campsite. Yeah, went back to the campsite, got more beer on the way, and said, fuck it, man. Like, on to the next date.
Exactly.
All the way, yeah.
I remember when I was touring over there in Brazil, our first time, and me, my drummer, my guitarist, right? And it was like we were getting drunk, partying backstage. There was a group of girls I wanted to talk to, and for some reason they were ignoring me. I was like trying to figure out what was going on, and apparently Eric, my guitarist, decided he wanted to hook up with all these chicks backstage, and he's all, no, he's gay. And so they just ignored me, and I was like, I was trying to figure out what was going on. So the next day I had a huge hangover. I go outside to the pool at the hotel over there in Rio de Janeiro, and this dude comes up to me, hey man, can I sit down? And he's all, well, yeah, it's free country, it's your country, you do whatever you want. He's all, hey man, how do you like Brazil so far? And I'm all, it's hot as hell, but yeah, I really like it, And he's all, well, the show is awesome. And I'm like, well, thanks. He's all, are you guys doing anything tonight? Or I'm all, well, we don't got any plans, He's all, well, I'm gonna invite you guys to this one club if you guys want to come. I'm all, yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't even think nothing of it. Biggest mistake I made right there. So me, Charlie, we go down there to this club, and Charlie's like, we walk in and we're like, what the fuck? There's no women. He's all, oh yeah, this is like a typical thing here in Brazil. He's all, which you guys are probably not used to in the States. I'm like, dude, we're the girls. And he's all, well, aren't you gay? And I'm all, no. He's all, well, your guitarist told everyone backstage that you're gay. I'm all, no, dude. I'm all, really? So I'm all, after me and Charlie were talking, he's all, let's get Eric back. Eric's, up there partying with some girls. So I'm like, all right, we'll get him back. So we got a bunch of transvestites. We got this guy. We paid him $200 to find a bunch of transvestites. And so we talked to the hotel concierge to give us the key to Eric's room while he was sleeping, right? And we kicked out all the girls. We put all the trannies in there. And we had the VH tape, the video camera.
Yeah,
the old school.
On the shoulder.
And so Charlie's over here recording these fucking trannies coming in there, and the girls leaving out. And then we wait about 5 minutes, and Eric just flops his leg over one of them and starts cuddling. And we're like, oh, this is priceless. So we close the door and we start banging on it. Come on, we're leaving. It's already late, dude. What the fuck? He wakes up. Apparently one of the trannies put their penis right next to his face, and we opened the door. We opened the door and we're like, dude, what the hell, Eric? Come on, I didn't know you're gay, dude. We're gonna have to kick you off the tour. He was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, you hooked up with these transsexuals, man. What the fuck? So we let him have it for the rest of the tour,
That's
and then when we got back to the States, we're like, damn. So who is batting who, man?
Right.
Yeah, and so he really thought he had slept with these trannies, and so
That's
we
why you
told
don't
him, hey,
drink so much, man. You gotta
exactly,
keep it
exactly.
low, but
So when we get back to the States and we're touring with Black Sabbath for maybe about a month or so, and so we had a nice bus and we had a VH test. We told them to pop in the video, and hey, we want to share something with you. And I'm all, this is what you get for telling everyone that I was gay backstage in Brazil. And he's like, oh, you found out, huh? And we're like, yeah, dude, that was dick.
yeah,
And,
especially down
Were
there.
you in, man?
huh?
What band were you in?
Inhumation.
And you toured with what Sabbath album were they?
Yeah, I toured with Sabbath. I toured with Scorpions. I did a few other groups.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, actually. Those are like names I grew up listening to as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, not the
Well,
age
I mean,
status or nothing.
if you went through my Facebook now, you'll see
No,
me.
cool.
Well,
No, you'll
I'm
see
gonna.
that there's a photo of me with Tony Iommi, Tony Martin, and then
Uh,
Herman, because I
he
toured
was
with all three.
a big influence on me growing up, being a left-handed guitar player. Hendrix, Robbie
wow.
Krieger from the Doors, Kurt Cobain. Fucking, it was such a pain in the ass. Like I did played upside down for years. I didn't know you could just flip fucking strings around, you know. So
Oh yeah.
I was able to play a right-handed guitar just like normal, and then I don't know. I was about 3-4 years into jamming, and someone was like, you can just do this. I flipped my strings over for me. I spent a whole another year learning how to play again. I was like, oh fuck, because I was doing everything upside, grabbing the G chords like this for me, right?
Was it hard to play when the high strings were on the top like that?
When I flipped back over to play like normal, like with the left-handed, yeah, it was a whole. I basically had to learn all over again in that sense, like because before my power chords, I'd hold them upside down, right? Now that everything's right side up, I got to reverse that and train and teach your hand to do that. Because once you get jamming, sometimes you just don't think, you just do it. And I still have almost flashbacks while I'm playing, and that's sometimes where I come up with some of the weird fucking chords I play. Because I used to play them like that, and then you get gapped out, and then you grab it like you used to, and it's like, oh, that sounded cool. That actually worked.
Really cool. Yeah, dude, for sure. It's different, man. That's awesome.
It's definitely added to my style. I'll send my single on over to you guys after the show here. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's something I wrote. Fuck, it's got to be 20 years old. And then I just recorded it about 4 years ago. And then now I was going to redo it all. I'm like, fuck it. Too much of a critic on myself. I'm just going to release it. Right?
Did you sing on it too, dude?
Yeah, we did. So I did the singing. He mixed me and him together on the vocals. And then I did all the main riff and the bass. We threw in a basic drum track. And then he did the guitar solo for me.
Nice. Dude, yeah, send it. I'd be interested to hear it, man. For sure.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, I'll send it on over, brother.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So what's new? What do you both of you guys? What do you got planned for the magazine? Who's some bands you got coming in?
Well, I'm right now for the magazine. I'm working with Prophecy. We're doing 30-year anniversary. Prophecy is celebrating, and I got thrown off because you're getting a little bit more audience. And
yeah,
want to say hello to everybody that's joining.
Hello. Feel free to answer questions for us. Ask us questions in the comments.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm working with them. DAF. You guys heard of DAF, right?
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. The vocalist sent me an email telling me that he's ready to do the interview. So, and I told him, hell yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Yeah. So I'm waiting for their response. Let's see. Here's one. Jeff, he kind of sent this late, but I'll go ahead and share it with you guys.
we knew Venom had black metal and speed metal and thrash metal existed, but we were heavier and way, way heavier, like super extreme for that time period. There was nothing like us. And so I wanted to brand us as death metal, first of all, because there was no death metal. And I thought naively that Possessed would be the only death metal band. That way it would make us stick out. Like people would go, oh, Possessed, they're that quote unquote death metal band. But then when Chuck started pen paling and getting into Possessed, then it became evident that, there was going to be a second one. But that, like I say, that wasn't for years later. For well over a year, Possessed was the only death metal band around. And everybody knew us as that death metal band. So
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, so I mean, even though I did the whole article on Jeff Becerra just like a couple of days ago, he sends me a message on WhatsApp. I'm like, hey Jeff, we're already done with the article. But I want to add on to your article, and I want to do the coining of death and bringing in bands like Matt, who I'm pretty sure Possessed influenced him in some way, or
yeah.
you, TJ.
Yeah.
And I want to do like a little documentary style on that. So I'm talking to Jeff about doing something like that. That way we can do the coining of death metal, and it starts with Possessed, and then bringing in newer groups too to get their exposure, with their fan base.
Since I've got, go ahead, Matt, and then I'll throw in my bit.
Like Possessed, like they obviously had a song called Death Metal, right? You know what I mean? On their first album.
That was their first album, yeah.
Right?
No, actually, that's where you're wrong. It was their actual demo album. It was called Death Metal.
Oh, is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah.
See, that's really cool. I think though, like if listening to them, like it definitely had more of a thrash vibe in my opinion, where Death, even though they came later, had more of like what we would consider, in my opinion, to be the classic.
Yeah, a lot of people would say Death were the first death metal band, right? So,
like, I mean, Jeff, but they're the ones that are making the stuff.
So they were the ones that brought it in the attention of the media to where it took off in that sense. But as the pioneers, of course, Possessed would definitely be one of the first ones even before them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think it was because when Possessed came out, I mean, they were very fast, and you just didn't hear that it was like that style of vocaling that Jeff would do that would bring death metal, and then Chuck came in later with his vocals and style.
Singer for Death, though he wasn't.
No.
Cam wasn't it? Cam Lee, the first guy that sang. Actually, when they were Mantis, wasn't it? Cam Lee that was later in freaking Massacre.
No. Chuck was the original singer for Mantis.
But I thought Cam Lee was that sang for him too. I thought Cam actually was the vocalist first.
You know what?
That Google check.
Yeah. That's something to check on Google.
Yeah, somebody fact check that.
But if I'm not mistaken, Cam Lee was there with in the process with Death, but I'm not sure if he was the vocalist. I think Chuck's always been the vocalist.
Well, we're kind of on this subject, and now you kind of want to focus on a band for the article. Since I've been involved with the radio, I do a thing called Backbone Hour with my buddy BG. We do a lot of the independent artists and stuff, the guys from the show, plus with AP Records, the people that have signed and worked with him as well. But I want to go I'm a death metal fan through and through, baby. So I kind of wanted to, maybe it's something Dean and I can talk about, maybe get Matt on, have another hour or 2 hours where we focus on the older and influences, and as you said, bring in the newer guys that are taking on the torches for the death metal scene, and go into depth, call it like 6 feet under in depth here in the Boneyard, and then have that as another radio show or another way to get, and then focus on that band and play their music for the hour, almost like Alan Cross does the new history of new music you know, kind of like that. But we would do more of the death metal and the heavy metal side of things, right? But,
Oh yeah.
No, that would be a great idea, actually.
yeah, so we'll talk more definitely about that for sure, man. And actually, I haven't said nothing to nobody except for Hollywood on that one. So spilling a little bit of tea. We're working on some other shit too. So
Yeah, so I'm working with Jeff, talking to him about it. Right now he's doing some shows, so I have to wait until he gets back to me. Let's see. So I got Daff. I did it on message, Sisters of Suffocation. They're kind of flaky, you know, so I don't
yeah,
really.
They're musicians.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a few other groups. Just right now, actually working with Inverse Records over there in Finland.
oh
So
yeah,
I'm promoting a little bit of their groups. I'm gonna try and do a studio's journey, because that's part of my website where I talk to different artists that have their own recording studios or their own backing, you know, and
yeah,
all
their
that.
own.
They get their story on what they're doing, and I'm trying to make a database on that where you can easily go to my website, and then you can go, hey, look, I'm in El Paso. Um, Eddie Garcia from the Piston Razors, you know, you'll see an article on him. You go in the studio journey. Oh, Eddie Garcia Crank Studios
Mm-hmm.
or Crank Audio, so you can hire him out as your sound engineer for your show. You know, so I'm trying to do multiple things with the website.
Almost like a Uber's Eat app for like roadies or light guys or sound guys.
Exactly. Do you
I
remember
know.
Gems
Go ahead.
Rockmore? Do you remember Gems Rockmore from
Oh,
Disciple back in the
yeah,
80s? They
yeah,
toured with Pantera.
yeah.
He lives up in El Paso. He's got his guitar tech company, plus he's opening a recording studio and a backing. So I want to try and do an interview with him later on, bringing in everything in the studio journey as well. You know, like Matt, you do a lot of home recording, right, for your albums?
Yeah, I do everything in my home studio.
So
Mm-hmm.
have you recorded any groups outside?
Oh yeah. I started out doing that.
Okay, well then great. I'll do an interview on that and for the studio journey, so you
Ooh.
can make some extra income on the side, you know.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
that's
actually
fantastic.
So
yes.
stuff like that actually helps out, because it's like a lot of these groups that come out and they want to know like what type of equipment should they get.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's really good that they can read an article and it's right there. Hey, pick up this mixing board, pick up these mics,
All
and
about
you
the
know,
plugins.
Yeah, this at this venue, it sounds good when you do this. Do not do this, or you know, that would
exactly.
be awesome information to be able to
Yeah.
pull up, say when you're on tour, for real.
So
Like,
I mean, think about it. I mean, it's going to save you money,
that would help
time.
me immensely as someone that's booking shows and reaching out and finding these venues, to know that information ahead of time, to even know, should I even reach out to this venue in that sense?
That's
Like, are they
yeah.
decent?
Do they
You
have a
know?
good PA? Is the stage?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly. And so, and all this is supposed to help you guys out and make it life easier for us on tour, because okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say if something breaks, your guitar messes up, something gets a crack in it, you need to get it repaired because you only for this certain song. Well, like then you can go to Gems Rockmore in El Paso, and if you have time, he can repair it for you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's what I want to do is
Or
basically
drop
make
it off.
it.
He'll give you something that's close to your guitar and shit for the night.
Yeah,
Fixes yours. You bring that back, exchange it in, right? Or
Get on to the next show.
mm-hmm.
yeah. So it'd be kind of great to have that, because I mean, back in the day, you didn't have anything like this. You didn't have
No,
technology
you
helping you.
trusted your fucking promoter or your manager to deal with all that, and most of the time he was just giving you drugs to keep you all fucked up and taking all your money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have any
That's
money for you.
another big change I noticed. I don't know, it could have been a myth, but when you watch all the documentaries, back in the day it was nothing but booze and fucking cocaine and hookers and shit.
Dude,
Nowadays, it seems like our scene as a whole has sobered up, where you really don't have that kind of parties anymore at the shows. Like
no,
you said,
believe it or not, I was drinking heavily when I was on tour with Tony and the guys from Black Sabbath and Scorpions. And I remember one time Tony, when I was a little bit sober, Tony's all, you keep on going this path, you're going to actually be like Jim Morrison.
mm-hmm.
I was like, what? And I finally got it, because I never saw them guys drinking or partying it up like how we were. But, being young and dumb and thinking this is what the lifestyle of a rock star is.
Well, you grew up watching on TV, especially if you watch college sports or anything with that.
Yeah.
At that age, you're supposed to just be Frank the Tank and fucking go to Mexico and drink as much as possible and shit.
You
now
remember
you're putting me on the road and telling me I'm famous? Or you want to see a party at 20 years old, baby? Fucking.
Yeah, speaking about that, it's like a lot of people think because you're a musician, you make a lot of money. I'm like, it's the opposite. I can be famous, but I'm not rich. You know what I'm saying, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play music if a person plays music to make money, you're hot.
Well, even as a big same musician, you're making this much money, but then you go and you buy this big giant house and you own all these fucking cars. You're still just as poor as me. Like, you just have bigger shit that you owe money on. That's all. Right? Like,
$4 million, you got $4 million worth of problems. That's the bottom
right. Like,
and I think nowadays, like you're talking about people being sober and this and that. I think that for people that are the older dudes, me being on the borderline of being one of those, guys, you just can't do it. I think that in playing for me, like in my opinion, for the music that I play, like there's no way I could be fucked up and play this shit. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, if you're playing simple 3-chord songs, you could party all day until you want to stop.
Yeah,
I think that at a certain point, I think that I mean, I'm not anybody's parent, but not being fucked up all the time is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I was because I'm buying a new place.
Yeah, my playing is this year just being sober and working on the album. My playing's 100 times better than it used to be, man. Like I couldn't hear it before, but I was fucking, just drinking and drinking and. Right.
Yeah, I'm not just having a good time, and but if you want to take music seriously, I don't think that there's a way to be like. I mean, it's not the '80s anymore.
Yeah, it's not the '80s anymore, right?
For the majority of people, I would like to believe that it wasn't that way anyway. Especially people that have been around for a really long time, like. Look like Mick Jagger. That he's like 100-something years old, but he's probably got a nutritionist and a physical trainer. Those people spend money. Their money that used to go on their, to the house they couldn't afford, and the cars they're spending.
That's on their doctor now, getting stem cells and fucking whatever they do, right?
Hormones and stem cell steroids. Everything they can, keep them going, man.
But that's the thing with this business. Your rent's due every day. Like, it's one of the only businesses where you got to pay every day, all the time, man. Like,
that's a good one. That's what I've heard that expression.
Yeah, the rent's always due, baby, every day here. Right? Like,
no shit.
It is. I mean, I was talking to my new neighbor that buying this place next to him, and his kid came over to my place and we were talking, and when he found out I was a musician, I was like, dude, maybe if I was younger and I knew what I knew now, I would have saved money back then instead of blowing it on drugs, drinking, and girls. That's the truth. I mean, I just bought anything and everything, and I tried to help out everybody. I mean, back then you made money, a little bit of money to survive, and had a little spending money, But these days it's like a lot different from back then. I think now it's like Matt's talking about, album sales. It's not the same. It's digital, and Yeah, metal's got a better following for physical and all that, but at the same time, we're not really getting a cut like what we would if we actually own everything. You know what I mean? Instead of the
Yeah.
label.
I
Oh,
think
and
that,
the venue, even the ticket sales. Like
Yeah.
I know here in Canada, you have 2 ticket suppliers, maybe 3, and they're paying you $12 a ticket, and they're selling them for $300. Like what
well,
the fuck, man?
I think that the reason why there's no money in the record industry anymore is because I think that the internet. I mean, obviously that's stating the obvious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
I mean,
And the home studio, being able to do shit at
yeah,
home,
yeah.
right?
That's why they don't get support for touring anymore or making albums. They might get an advance, but it's nothing. No record label gets a chance on everybody anymore. Very few of them do because, and that's why.
Your microphone, Matt. Your microphone.
Oh, what's wrong with it? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
It
now
just
I can.
muffled a bit. There you go.
Oh, I'm probably talking quietly, but anyway, yeah, freaking, like the advances aren't there, so they don't take risks. They want bands to have a following when they sign them. They want bands to do all the legwork. They
Mhm.
want bands to have everything lined up, and they just want to come in and
Well,
they'll
now
make,
they can just sit back and wait and let you do all the work and watch you grow and grow, and then come to you, mwah,
well,
fucking.
I know bands that are on labels that are paying for the cost of pressing their own CDs.
Mm-hmm.
That's to some people, that was unheard of. Back in the day, like they wouldn't do that. Like it was a bad deal.
So they signed you on. You went to their studio. You did their album.
That's the thing, though. Too, it used to take 6 months to a year to make an album.
Mhm.
Nowadays you make an album in a weekend. If you have the right stuff to do it. But
No,
I
there's this
think-
guy. Go
I
ahead.
think the only reason that people are making money now in the music industry or bands is because they are touring. If anything, the internet has made bands tour again.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that it's done is that's why you see bands that are on the road that weren't from
Well,
like the late '90s until the early 2000s. A lot of bands weren't touring anymore, and then all of a sudden after the internet thing, that file sharing, all that crap, they started touring again because that was the only
they
way
had to.
they were forced into doing it.
That's why I stress so much to buy the merch, man.
Yeah.
Reach out to them online. Most of the times they have online stores. Buy their merch, and then you buy enough merch, they'll go on tour because they make enough money now they can afford to go, right? Like,
everybody counts on that money. Everybody counts on merch to and that's one thing too is like when you're on tour, a lot of the money you make goes back into going to the next show or do the next tour. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't get too. It's like, you got to pay for, okay, let's say you're a tour bus. Well, that costs diesel money, you got to pay that. Matt, you tour around in a van or a tour bus?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's got to be out there, putting gas in that,
oh yeah,
roadies, dividing that money. I mean, let's say if you're making, I'm just gonna give a good estimate. Okay, let's say about $5,000. Okay, well, that $5,000 at the end of the night, it's probably for yourself. It's gonna be maybe about $600 after you split it for everything that you need.
I know that like the headliners on the last tour, they had a bandwagon, and they told me it cost them $1,500 a day for it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like I said, the rent's due every day, baby. Right?
That's look.
30 times 15. They just spent $45,000 just on going from point A to point B.
Yeah, but not including that. I mean, if they got a tour bus, okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, it's about $700 in diesel fuel. Okay, not only that, they got to put the driver in a hotel and they got to get his meals. He's got to be included. It's in the contract.
Well, yeah, that's what the bandwagon is a bus that tows.
Yeah.
No, that's what we're building with the fortunate losers.
You got to remember, for the audience that don't know what we're talking about, I'm simplifying it for them, Matt. Well,
I was gonna say, even Devin here buying that bus and having to renovate it to make it a tour bus, buying the bus and just getting it even to go on the road. You're looking at $25,000 probably. You know, I
25,
I didn't
30.
charge him big money to help, but you know, like I said, I gotta get paid something, man. It's like, so we worked out a fantastic deal, worked out for both of us. But you know, and they haven't even done a tour yet with it. Like they're already
Right.
25 grand in the hole, and they, like you said, diesel $200 every time they fill up. You know, and it's not like you're going from here to Vegas on a tank of gas.
No,
You know,
fuel twice, 3 times, you know, at least twice a day.
I mean,
right?
like when you were touring, okay, for example, you went from Oregon all the way to Dallas, right?
Yeah, just to start.
Just to start, okay, and okay, that was about $200-300 right there just to get down.
Oh, it was more than that.
Yeah, but I'm just
Mhm.
ballparking it.
Yeah, no, it was more. I think it was probably close to 6.
Okay, for the groups that are listening, and you know, for the audience, you know, that you're actually considering start a tour, it's good that you guys have at least $3,000 saved up for the beginning of your tour, because you're going to go through money like crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. 3 grand besides what you're planning on spending.
Hmm.
You know, like that money is like in case of emergency money.
Yeah, because what happens? Okay, you make to the second tour, you're heading to the third show, and you blow a fucking tire.
Dude,
$300.
What do you do now, baby? Like,
what happens if your guarantees are all in checks and you can't find a U.S. bank on the East Coast?
yeah.
I've dealt with that one before. Oh, you mean you can take a picture of a check and deposit it? That's another thing. Like learning.
I always make sure I have enough to support me and one other person, and then if I don't have to support the other person, I can live another whole month if I have to, and that's however long I planned, right? So
look,
I was doing for double.
Look, I was doing a documentary before, right before the pandemic hit for Netflix, and it went downhill because of the pandemic. And anyway, I was interviewing the Pissing Razors, and we're talking about the tour, and this is the true reality. Sometimes you get screwed at the venues. You know that sometimes they don't want to pay you, and you need that money to get to the next place, or you need that money to eat. Well, Pissing Razors ended up not having any cash flow at all. They were literally starving for like a week. They ran into one of their buddies that were carrying. They gave him a bag of Halloween candy. These guys,
here you go, boss.
I mean, I've
not
been
easy, man.
You know, being a musician, I mean, hey, you know, it's a lot of it's heartbreaking at times because you know you're starving out there, you're struggling, people are telling you no.
People don't know. You even watch the old documentary. I remember my sister showed me back when MTV actually had music and shit. And the Slash and Axel were talking about how they would get a McDonald's fry and then divide it amongst themselves, count it out. So that's all the money they had at the time, right? But
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like Matt Lynch from the Piston Razors, he was talking about he finally got some cash. He went down to I think it was a McDonald's or Wendy's or something like that. Well, they walked down there about 2 miles to get their burgers. And then when he gets his burger, right, they fucking get back to the bus, and guess what? They forgot to put the fucking burger in this burger. So he was defeated, man. He was just like, finally got some money for food, and it was just like heartbreaking. You know, I mean, stuff like that. It's, you know, it really takes a toll on groups that, you know, and it makes you who you are as musicians. And I think this is where the elements of that anger comes in, because you know everything's defeating you at that point, and you write great songs from what you're struggling going through. You know, like Matt, I mean, hell, Matt, that tour took like a toll on you as well.
Oh yeah, it's not easy, man. Like it's work, dude. Like the physical things, you know, is difficult, but like the mental thing of it's even.
I would say, yeah, it's more the way you sit inside your head when you're on that bus or in that hotel room, hungry, you know, or thirsty, and it's like,
or just like, you know, you're tired of like, you know, driving around. You're tired.
Yeah.
You know, just everything that goes along with it. But you know, and everybody has almost. It's just like life in general for anyone, though. It's like
You could be at home going to work 9 to 5 instead of touring, and you're still gonna have the same problem in that sense for you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Anybody that thinks that like if when you're all on tour, it's some magical experience.
Yeah, right.
It's not. It's work. And anybody that says anything else is bullshit. It's
Mhm.
not. Maybe back in the day, back in when you're torn with Black Sabbath, things are different, or the Scorpions and shit.
Oh,
Like
that was really different, man. I was
that's unfortunate. Or unfortunately, most of us will never be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's just the reality of it. So, you know, the rest of the time it's like minimal sleep, sitting up when you're sleeping, your body sore from being in like look at like truck drivers, you know, they have fancy seats for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, that's
like
something that right there.
You know, it's hard on your body, and just dealing with people and like just prepare. Like things go wrong. It's just a matter of it's like having a positive attitude goes a really long way, and just because that's all you can do. You know, you can't. Nothing's going to be perfect. It is what it is. You know.
Yeah, it really is. Especially just finding a place to bed down for the night. I mean, just a good hotel room can change your whole mood swing. A good meal,
a shower.
Yeah,
people don't understand how amazing a shower is.
Anybody that wants to go on the road, get a membership at Planet Fitness, because you can sleep in the parking lot. And you can go in there and take a shower whenever you want.
Yeah, it's worth it for sure, right?
You know, the venues you're playing, sometimes they have like laundry machines. You know, like a washer and a dryer. Use them. You know, if they have a shower, use them. You know, stuff. Like
I just went away there.
Don't forget to get your little doggy bag out for the food and take them with you.
Yeah. I'm always like
water for free. Grab them. You're going to need them, dude. That's one thing. Like water's a hot commodity. If they're handing out cases of water, make sure that it's on your rider to have a case of water for every show. And even if you don't drink it, take that shit with you.
Take it with you, man. Yeah, 100%, right?
It's kind of weird if you talk to some truck drivers at the truck stops, and they'll tell you where they're going to load. You can always ask the driver, hey, well, if you're going to a water plant, they give out free cases of water. Can you grab me some? I'm going to be here for like 2-3 hours. They'll bring you back 2 cases.
That's cool.
Cool shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I learned little tricks of the trade, and so like up in Canada,
resourceful out there, right?
Let's be honest. Being in Canada, man, especially a taxi, I would take a carton of cigarettes, and I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to get to this place, and I'll make a deal with you. I'm oh, you smoke? I got a carton of Marlboros.
Oh yeah, Marlboros are like gold.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I mean, you learn like little tricks like that to survive. I mean, you can bring 2 cartons of Marlboros with you to Canada, and you can actually trade them to go. Let's say you want to go to the mall, and tell them, hey, I'll make a deal with you. You take them to the mall and bring me back. I'll give you a carton of Marlboros.
Yeah, here you go.
And it works. I've done it before, So I mean, little trick, Matt.
Yeah, I don't smoke, so
no.
No, but if you want, let's say you want to go somewhere in town to buy something, right, for your family or whatever, it's a lot different if you were in like what you're saying in the bus, but you guys are in a van, so it's a little bit easier for you to travel around.
Well, usually in my experience, like it was, you got done playing and you drove to the next show, and by the time you got there, you set your stuff up. If you're lucky, you get a sound check, you get your merch set up.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different for me because I was touring with bigger bands.
Well, yeah, dude. Not everybody tours with Black Sabbath.
No, right? I've seen them a few times live.
That's a whole other animal.
Yeah,
right. Runners, going out there, to fetch your food, bring back your sequined dry cleaning. It's a little bit different. When you're in the trenches, so to speak, it's a different story. If you're driving yourself, you're not going to want to stop and see the roses, man. You're gonna.
I remember I was in Montreal and I did an interview with K-pop band out of New York or wherever there, and they were just starting and stuff. They're starting to get noticed on their side of things and stuff. And it's like, has any of you guys ever traveled? They're like, no, no more than 3 hours. I was like, oh shit. Well, you better get prepared to be hungry, be fucking tired, you know.
Here's a good piece of advice: wear shirts that have 2 sleeves, so that way if you have to, you know.
Yeah, or always have extra socks, bud. You know, nothing worse coming out of the woods one sock. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you know, stay hydrated, eat bananas, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
fresh fruit and stuff. Like instead of hitting the fast food, hit the grocery store, man. Buy a fucking fruit platter, and you know those. I usually I'll take canola, and then he's got an electric cooler. There you go.
Yeah,
plugged in a smoke lighter, baby.
Yeah, no, it actually works though. I mean, but a lot of groups that are starting out, they don't know what to expect, especially in different countries and all that.
Yeah,
any way you can save money is a good thing. So if you can
like
cheap.
Yeah, when I went to South Africa, I didn't know what to expect, so I packed for like camping. Like in case I was stuck in the woods or some shit, you know.
That's brutal. That's hard.
Yeah.
My first time when I went to the Philippines too, man, it was like all this different food that I never even heard of, and then they had this one fruit. They told me to try it. It's like real small and it has all these spikes on it. So I bit into it. They didn't tell me hey, you need to peel it, you know. It's like, oh man, it was so sour. I was like, oh my god.
Eat cactuses in El Paso, like you walk outside, there's like a cactus. You're like, oh, looks good, you know.
Yeah, I mean, great water and great food.
Right.
You know.
I had one of the best breakfasts ever in my life was in El Paso, man.
What did you have in El Paso?
I got well, it was just the basic Mexican fucking breakfast. So it had the rice, some freeze-fried beans, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? But
hey,
the fact that it was made there compared, like, we don't have real Mexican restaurants here. You know what I mean? Not that authentic, that food. Like, even when I go south with the fried chicken's completely different. The biscuits, even the pulled pork and stuff. To get it here compared to back home in Georgia, you know what I mean? Like, it's 100% different, you know?
The best barbecue that I had in St. Louis. Because that's one thing, like, you know, it's like instead of spending money on booze, you know what I mean? Like, and I had St. Louis barbecue, and I had North Carolina barbecue. St. Louis stuff was really good. And pizza from New York is better.
Did any of you guys go to Chico's Tacos when you were in El Paso?
I hit Whataburger, dude.
I might have. I went to everywhere. Like I was there for just over a week, so like every day I was trying something new, checking out all the churches. Elsa and I went down into Mexico for a few days there. Got to go to that famous King's Bar or whatever it is down there.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I used to go there when I was a kid, man. Pick up girls.
Right.
Did you guys ever meet Al Jorgensen when you were down there? Dan, did you ever run into him?
Well, I competed with him with my recording studio. I met him like once or twice, you know. He goes to this one place over there in El Paso. It's it's like a organic health food shop. And I went over there to go pick up some stuff with my wife at the time, and you know, she's all, you know who's in there? And I'm all, nah, who? And she told me, and so I walked in there and I met him, and you know,
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and you know, we talked for a few moments, and you know, we're exchanging some stories about Johnny Depp and all that when he wanted to try and join ministry or something like that.
But I love ministry too, man. I got to see them a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real cool guy. I mean,
yeah,
he's a trip, though. I mean, I didn't really get to spend a lot of time talking to him, but just for a brief moment, you know, it's cool. That's someone I need to try and see if I can do an interview with.
I was gonna say I've come close. Like I was one person away from being in contact with him, and then I ended up losing my contact to contacting him, and then it was so close, but I still hold out hope. You know what I mean? We'll get some.
Matt, you're a big Ministry fan, huh?
Me, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I can tell because this is the second time you brought up Al in the interview.
One of my favorite photographs I've ever taken is at a Ministry. They were on the ones on stage that night, and just the way the lights came across and the way the crowds highlighted through it's a fucking fantastic photo. But that was at the Ministry show, man. Fucking
dude, like them, like I mean, and they've been around for a really long time. Like they were like synth pop band back in the 80s, like. And but I remember hearing Rio Grande Blood when that album came out. I mean, I've listened to the other albums, they did albums before that, obviously, but like when around like 2005 or whatever, 2006, and that album was angry and it was really cool, and that's something I still listen to all the time. And some of their back catalog stuff too. But dude, like Ministry was awesome, man. And
they were.
They're really cool. Like they were like before. Like, I'm a huge Fear Factory fan too.
Yeah.
And just the industrial aspect into the music was really cool that they brought. I mean, they weren't like the only people, but they were the ones I thought were awesome.
I think Ministry had a unique vibe to them. Like when I first heard them from the very first album, Tasting, The Mind's a Terrible Taste, and when I heard Burning, I was like burning inside. I was like, fuck, this is
this is me, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you feel it. And it was when I heard that guitar chord and I was like messing with it, and I was like, wow, this is real simple, but it sounds a lot harder than what it was, but it was real simple. And then after that, when they did New World Order, NWO, I was like, and Free Fix. Yeah. I was like, wow, dude. I was like, and it really Al's just got a unique way of doing things, and his music, especially when he did that song Halloween.
Dude, what about Rigor Mortis?
Right?
Serious?
Yeah.
Mike Scatia from Ministry was in Rigor Mortis too, wasn't he? And like they're from Texas down there. Did you ever hang with those dudes or see them?
No, because basically I was hanging out with the guys from Morbid and Unleashed and Tomb, then Black Sabbath, Scorpions, and
all the foreign dudes, because Unleashed is badass too. And so
I mean, there's a YouTube video that I arranged with me, Unleashed, with this one guy from Canada. Music of Destruction, and I named that channel, but it was kind of like the dude didn't know what he was doing when I was bringing him bands and stuff like that. I was trying to help him out, but it was like that was the worst mistake I ever did. I should copyright that name and just take it back and make it for my channel,
Yeah.
But
I don't know how all that works when it comes to names and shit, copywriting this and that. That's a whole nother show. That'll be next time. We'll get into the fucking logistics and legal ends of fucking wheeling and dealing, right?
Screwed,
right.
Yeah.
If you have a good idea, don't tell anybody, or send yourself a text message.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude,
so,
anyway,
Matt.
Yeah.
What's going on with you and your album that you're working on?
I got a power metal record that's going to be out soon. A couple of dudes from the band Line of Durin, which is a Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit-inspired dwarven band. Vocalist Trent's doing the vocals on that. They're a really good band. Check them out. And then Blood and Thunder drummer Ryan Yancey's doing the drums on it. And it should be ready soon. They have the demos and they're working on it all, and we hope to have something. I've been getting some demos from those guys back with the vocals and the drums on it. Sounds really, really good. Man, what else? I'm about 3/4 of the way done with another instrumental record. I got the album covers and the title, everything ready to go. Lord Marco from 6 Feet Under, Range Rover, the Faceless, and Rings of Saturn's doing the drums on it for me. We also worked on the Chasm record together, so that'll be out. I hope to be shopping that bad boy probably by the beginning of May. So there'll be some more stuff. I got some tour stuff going on, so I'm gonna be busy here soon. Going to NAMM in April as a
No way.
Yeah. So I'm stoked on that.
Are you gonna
perform down there? I'm there too.
Nice, eh?
Where is it going to be held at? In Vegas again?
No, it's always in Well, it's historically been in Anaheim, California.
Okay.
I've never been before, and I've always wanted to go, so I'm super excited. And shout out to John at GHS for hooking me up with the artist pass, man.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm stoked to go. Have you guys ever been down there? I've been to Disneyland like once when I was a little kid, man. And I know it's like right by that place.
Yeah, California is one place I have yet to go, but this year I'll be down there in November-ish, right? So
you've been to South Africa, but you
dude, I've been to like 44 states. You know, Hawaii, California, I haven't been to yet. So
yeah,
I've been to California. I've been to Disneyland, but I spent more time on the Hollywood Strip and at the strip bars and hooking up with porno stars.
Right.
Yeah.
Living the dream, baby.
Exactly.
Well,
STDs were rampant.
Yeah.
Well, you remember?
You were told that guy, those chicks, the guy wasn't into dudes. You should have been like, no, he's got herpes.
Yeah, right.
It was better the way we did it because of the whole video. But
next time.
Apatia Lee, she was a porno star back in the 80s and 90s, and she was a Cherokee Indian. She actually had a rock band, and so I would go and hang out with her and all that, and check out her band, hang out, party with her and her husband and Asian Karina and all them. So
oh shit, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. I guess when you hook up with the right group, doors open up, and that's what happened. I was very fortunate when we went to California. I was like, cool. I met her band. I wrote a song was going to use her name on it because it was Apathia Lee. That's a real cool name,
Yeah.
And at the end, I changed it to Candles and Light. So. Yeah, I mean, just it was kind of cool,
No, that's wild. But
yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, anything else, man? Fuck, we don't end up talking for another hour. I don't. That's got us down here.
I mean,
right? Yeah, nap time.
I mean, right now I'm just working on Prophecy DAF. I got some other groups. I'm trying to push a couple of groups, get them a little bit more exposure and all that. And that's Azteca and Calad.
Yeah,
and,
our door is always open. Send them our way, man, and I'll sit down and shoot the shit with them for an hour or two.
Cool. Have you had Slave Pit on your show before?
Nope, not yet, bud. That's one I've been so many bands sometimes, but yeah, no, I haven't had them though. No, that's for sure.
Send some of your groups down to the magazine, and
I'll get a hold of Dave and them tonight, and Gary and them out of Thy Kingdom of Nightmares and Thy Enemy, and I'll get them sent down your way, man, and get you some Canadian bands to throw down in your mag there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great because, I mean, I know, like, I've been doing good in my analytics with Pure Metal God. Last time I checked, I had Alaska and part of, like, from Alberta to
nice.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
So I was getting a little hit right there, all the way up to Alaska. So I want to grow it more, and I think the only way to grow it more is getting some Canadian groups. That would be a great idea.
Diversify a bit. Like, originally I focused Canadian bands. It seemed to be a lot, and then next thing I knew, it just kind of developed into when I hooked up with Dangerous Doug down there and Sam out of RFL Records, fucking bands from all over the U.S. And then I don't know how, but then we hooked up with Simon and then a bunch of, Ren and them out of Ireland. And then we got a very special guest coming from all the way from Greece, right? My last show before my holiday, heading out to BC, baby, whole
There
week.
you
So,
go.
yeah, I'll probably go
No,
live a bunch of times while I'm there. So,
You
but it'd still be a
should
vacation, though,
go to Vancouver Island and do the alone thing.
Yeah, right. I'm alone enough.
by the way, have you joined TJ the Pure Metal Gods face group?
I will be shortly after the show here. I'll be definitely jumping into that.
Yeah, feel free to promote your stuff on there because
Oh, sweet.
because right there, when you join the group, I mean, it's you got South America in there, so
Yeah,
whoever speaks English, you can grab them to your radio
yeah.
station and all
Oh,
that.
speaking of South America, there we got a real good band we talked to quite a few times here. X-Beer. They're out of there. Gabriel, I believe is the singer's name, but he's the only one out of the band that speaks English. So every time we have one, it's always just him that comes on, right?
Well, Dante from Azteca, he speaks really good English, and
Oh, excellent.
I'm actually doing a part 3 of my ancestral traditional episode. I
Hmm.
just got done doing one with Ote Ken, and they're from Russia, but they're Grammy Award winners.
Oh,
And
Oh
wow.
wow.
yeah, so I was the first one to ever do an official interview with their management because
Oh, that's awesome.
none of the girls speak English and all that. So
Yeah.
they took the time to answer everything down, and then their manager translated everything, and I got like,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was really
Cool.
cool because to have them, and
It's
they
hard
got
to
a
break into the Russia. I know when we had In Storm on, they're out of Russia there, and then Imperial Age, who were originally from Russia, and then they had to leave, and then now they've got their UK citizen or visa. So, but
the
Well,
problem that I'm
yeah,
having though with the whole Russia thing, and it's if I'm trying to interview people from Russia, and then I have bands from Ukraine, they're like getting pissed off
mm,
because, and I'm like, wait a minute, Russia's people don't really care about the war too, just like you guys. And I'm all
yeah, they're
musicians,
all. It's the
yeah, political issues
That's
are
a
one
whole
thing.
nother show. That's another
Yeah,
3 hour fucking topic we can get into.
yeah,
and
I'm a history buff, and especially when I was younger, it was the Cold War was something we learned about, and the UN agreement, and then all of a sudden, every year after that, next thing you know, the UN's right on Russia's border. I don't know. I don't want to get into it because we'll just
yeah,
get it.
I
Fucking
mean, but you see what I'm saying. It
yeah,
makes
yeah.
it very difficult. Like if
Hmm.
I promote a Russian band, you get the bands from Ukraine get all pissed off, and like, and if I do something with Ukraine, I get someone pissed off from Russia. I'm like,
Hmm.
dude, we're about the music, and that's all it
Exactly
is.
right. If it's good music,
Politics,
we got to get it out there, man. Like
politics can go wherever it needs to go because I'm about, exposing your music, and that's it. I don't care
hmm
about the politics and the drama. That's between presidents and,
yeah,
other presidents, kings and queens.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
most normal people would probably feel the same way about stuff. Everybody just wants to live in a world where people aren't getting
Hmm.
killed.
Yeah.
In general, even if you go back to the war or any of the wars, no one wanted to do it. Like
Yeah, it's not the average guy saying we're going to invade your country.
yeah, right. Like
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of crazy how that works out. But,
mm,
I mean, I was very fortunate to get that interview, and,
oh,
you
that's
know,
fantastic, though, man.
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
believe it or not, I mean, I this group did way better than all the metal bands, and they're pop fought. I was like
Yeah.
pop folk music, and I got like on that. It probably went up past 3,000 already plays, but
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it was
killer,
like,
man.
I mean, because no one's ever been able to communicate with them and ask them the right questions. And
Yeah,
once
yeah.
again, that's what the magazine's about, is asking the right questions for the artists, so the fans can know more about them. And, So I'm really proud of the way I'm doing things and trying to keep it that
No,
essence
that's
for pure metal of
why
God.
I reached out to you. It was like, creeped up the your page, checking out your website and the articles, and then sending me the podcast that you've done, or the audio versions of everything, and then like, why, definitely got to get you on. And then he's like, oh, I got a special guest for coming on. Just fucking mad.
Yeah, because I thought of Matt, and I'm like,
Right.
Matt's working on his material. It's a
Yeah.
I
great,
appreciate it, man. Well, thanks for looking out, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
no problem, man.
that's pretty
You're my
wild that
bro, Matt.
you didn't
Matt,
know
I
he's
mean,
been on the show and shit. You were just reaching out to him to help
well,
promote him and shit.
yeah, it's because I believe in Matt, just like I believe in
Mhm.
Azteca, Calad, I believe in Slave Pit. There's a lot of groups that I believe in.
Mhm.
Just, trying to get them out there more, get them well known, and, hit them, the States,
Yeah.
Mexico,
Yeah, dude.
all the other countries in there. And, because eventually what's going to happen is when you get a certain group in there, they're going to check out, oh, let me check this out. And Matt can tell you, man, like all my articles that I did the day that I did the interview with Matt, I was super busy. I was doing, uploading all the articles as AIs, voice, artificial intelligent voices, reading the
Oh, the
articles.
text. Yeah.
Yeah, reading that out for truck drivers.
Yeah, I
And
remember you
then,
telling me that. Yeah, that's cool.
and so I'm trying to do something because let's be honest, there truck drivers, there's bus drivers, there's all these people out there working that don't have time to read, but they got time to listen.
Hmm.
Absolutely, dude.
Especially nowadays and today's, it's go, 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 go. Like, uh, for some reason, we always keep that pressure on ourselves, no matter where you are or what you're doing. It's always go, 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 right?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, man. You go
I
ahead.
was saying that, like, sometimes it's nice too to hear something besides like music. If you're at the gym or you're driving, or music related stuff's awesome, but like not just
Hmm.
listening to music. Like if you're, it's almost like listening
That's
to like talk radio. That's kind of cool.
over there, yeah, with Pet Rock Radio. We follow Alan Cross there, who does the history of new music, and I love hearing the background behind the music and stuff. It's almost as good as getting the CD and pulling out, or the
Oh yeah,
vinyl, and pulling out all the album cover and all the lyrics and behind the scenes stuff. And
that's one thing a stream will never have, dude.
mhm.
It's like the physical copy in your hand, like with the liner notes, like they played this gear, this is who recorded it. These are the lyrics to the goddamn song. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Especially with having records, even like Wallard. That's something that you can't get on a stream.
yeah. But
I mean, like, were you expecting me to play Jeff Bracero's audio question? I mean, that he responded. You weren't expecting that in your stream.
no, that's
And
why I love doing the stream live and stuff. Like, it's no different than the band getting on that stage and performing live. Either going to be good, or sometimes it's mediocre. I've had some super shit interviews, right? It's like, but
exactly.
it's no different than getting on the stage. I love to do it live, right?
By the way, that group that I met you in on Facebook with the virtual radios, who formed that group anyway? Because I was like,
I have no clue, brother. I get them on daily invites to these group chats. I've had to like fucking jump out of a lot of them, but that was one I kept. And then,
yeah,
you see it for some reason
it paid off.
Yeah,
yeah, because I was like, when did I join this group? And
right.
I was like,
I mean, like those messages don't ever stop, and it's
Mhm.
like, I wonder, is that like something they're doing that the pages do, or is that something that Facebook does? Like it's because it's
Just starts the chat. We noticed you all talking about the same thing. Fucking
Yeah, it's
boom,
like-
here's the group, right?
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It was cool because I got to meet you, and
Mhm.
Matt's been on your show before, and I didn't even know. And then Matt
No,
told
it's so
me.
cool, man.
I know. I was like,
I was gonna tell Matt, don't tell him, but yeah, you already told him you've been on. I was gonna go. all
I
in
remember.
on.
Yeah, I asked Matt earlier, and Matt can testify to this. I don't know how it's his podcast compared to my podcasting, and Matt's just like, yeah, he's cool. So yeah,
pretty chill show, laid
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
But,
It's not like answering a written questionnaire.
yeah, I can't. Personally, for me, I can't stand having. I can see, okay, we got to cover this topic or that topic. I'll flow into it though. I'm not gonna, look at my sheet and then look up for the answer like it's fucking Wikipedia or some shit. Like,
This isn't a job interview.
yeah, right. Like that's just ridiculous, man. Nobody.
Yeah,
and Matt, I remember Matt when I first interviewed him. He's all, "You're gonna send me some questions?" And no, we'll just shoot the shit. I mean, I think that's the best one, is because then you get to diverse in your questionnaire, like how we talk about pay to play, merch sales.
Like the conversation can now go anywhere. You're not stuck in this confined box of questions.
Yeah, it's like the standard stuff, like where are you from?
Yeah, we cover that all right in the beginning. Who are you? What band you from? And then we'll fucking go from there, baby.
I think it's interesting too. Like you want to hear what people think, not just like answer, because it's like you guys have done so many interviews. It's like, it's like the same answers over.
Yeah. And then every show becomes monotonous, right? Like,
yeah, dude, it's like playing the same song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Hollywood,
right?
Hollywood said it correctly. It's more unreal. So there we go. And yeah, thank you for paying attention. Thank you, Hollywood.
She does all the behind the scenes stuff for us. So when you guys book on the calendar, when I send you over,
behind the road.
I'm 100%, man. She is totally organized this. 100. Well, before it was just me. I'm trying to write down. I'm working full time. Like, what the fuck do I do now? When you're doing 6 interviews a week, it's like, holy fuck. Too, right? So when she come on board about 2 years ago now, I think, fucking what a difference, man.
You see, you're lucky that you got someone helping you, man. I wish I had someone helping me. Hollywood, if you want to join me in Pyramid of Gods, come on.
Yeah, she is probably available to talk because she can go ahead and work for other people, do the same shit she does for me, like organizes everything, sets it all up, you know what I mean, sends me the email. But I was like, our calendar works, you have to have the email, but with you guys I was like, I'll just send them the shit on Messenger. We already talked already all the time, right?
But next one I'm gonna do is if you want. All right, TJ. Let me interview you and talk about your radio station. And
100%.
Studio journey. Yeah, and same thing with Matt. I'll write up some questions and do it like that because I like what you're doing because it actually I feel comfortable. Some interviews I don't want to do them at all. I mean, throughout my whole life in the music industry, I think there's maybe been about 7 interviews I've done, and I just don't care for them because they're all the same boring.
I find that a lot afterwards. Fans or the people will reach out to me again. I always kind of reach back, say, hey, thanks again for tonight. Really appreciate it. And then I always get how comfortable people are with this. Like they're like, I was so nervous, and then 2 seconds in, they forgot all about it. We just started shooting the shit. And you get a real interview now, like you get a real conversation.
There's one thing though, would be kind of cool. Some background music in the background while you're doing the interview. That would be kind of awesome.
I'm pretty sure I can do that.
Do like how I did with Matt that one day. And, Matt's music. I mean, I love it. There we go.
There you go. 80s porn, baby. I'm not sure if I can upload like real music. Like I would like to eventually be able to play the artist song and shit, but that goes back into the radio side where I want to do that 6 feet under.
Look, use Zencaster. Use Zencaster for like that show, and then the video will be separate, the audio will be separate, and then you can import on your DAW, all the
Yeah.
music in the background. Like how I got mine set up is I use a patch base. I can run the music through it.
See, that's pretty cool because normally I'd let BG, because he was the one who approached me about joining the radio with him as being a co-host with them on Liquid Fire Radio, Power 91, and Pet Rock Radio now, right? But I just kind of left it to him because I've got all this. But the more I do it, the more I want to get involved, and I've got so many more ideas for other content and shit to bring to the radio, to bring more in depth to these indie bands that I'm representing them per se.
Well,
right?
Hell, I know groups from all over the world as well. So like you went underground,
yeah,
unsigned.
I like to say bring your local music from around the world. So it's generally the local scene from that area, from wherever, you know what I mean? But it's always that local underground indie music, man.
If you wanted to start breaking into Mexico, let me know.
100%.
And if you want to start
100%, man.
Now we can work out something in the Philippines. I'll talk to my girl over there.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you, hun, right now, and for everything, for supporting me, giving me advice and working with me with ideas. Thank you, sweetie. And she's up in the Philippines, and what I can do is, we can arrange something, get some groups over there. I know promoters over there, get you some, and because they speak English as well over there.
Yeah, I've got some family over there technically. When Roxy was co-hosting with me and shit before she passed away. I got to meet her sisters, her family, like through video chat and shit. And then still this day, I talk to the family. They're always bugging me, come visit us. It's time.
What part of the Philippines are
they at? She's in Kobe, Cebu. That's it. And it's
Cebu.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciation on shit. Like they always got a kick out of that.
It's cool. I'll definitely contact some people over there, and we got Sasko that knows groups from Europe as well. So from Metal Madness Promotions.
I was gonna say we could do a worldwide metal fest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do something great. Matt. We can have Matt help us out too with some of the bands that he tours with.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because that's like this year. We're at the end of this year. We're looking at buying the land and building the stage so we could have our own festival. But it would be sick to start, say, or end at my festival and kind of do a world tour, and then at the end of the festival, we're on my land, fucking one last big party before everyone parts their ways and goes home, right?
Yeah. Tell you what I'll do is, do you want some press kits or do you want to hear their music? I'll send you their music.
Yeah, shoot me over the music, because if I don't like the music, I'm not really. I'll still talk to those people, but you know what I mean.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, like Azteca, they're like a symphonic power metal band.
That's cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. Shoot me that over 100%.
And then Calad, God, I mean, they got a unique style. I don't even know how to describe it, between symphonic, power metal, industrial, all mixed in, and they're really group.
It's metal. Everyone gets so bad. Well, we're prog, we're this. That's still metal to me, man. It's like it's just a different version of it in that sense.
Right. And Calad, Julieta is the lead vocalist. She studied over there in Canada, to be honest. So yeah.
Oh, no way, that's awesome.
Yeah, so she's got really
like a fucking champ today, baby.
And after we were talking about no one does drugs anymore, and
if you can grow it in your backyard and pick it like a tomato, it's not really a drug, man.
No, I'm joking.
No, it's all good.
I mean, this is the rock industry. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like, rocking up cocaine. You know.
Yeah, this is the worst thing I'm doing, baby. I'm doing pretty good nowadays.
Now
Right?
that
Yeah.
would be a great cover from you,
What's
redoing
that?
Eric Clapton's "Cocaine."
Nah. He's like, nah.
I can't,
Dude, it's classic song. I mean, yeah. I'd marry
your style, Matt,
Okay.
but do it in your style. That would be awesome.
Dude, that'd be cool. I mean, you could. It's all in four. It could be heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
So hard to do a cover tune, but yet so many of the mainstream bands are good cover bands now. I don't want to like throw anybody under the bus, but like, holy fuck! Every time I turn around, it's a fucking cover song, man. I'm like, what's going on?
Dude,
That-
like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I did freaking like four cover albums, dude, and it was
Yeah.
cool because I got to work with so many different people. But yeah, dude, like nowadays, well, it's because most bands are releasing singles, man. And that's what's
Yeah,
in the world.
true, right?
Yeah,
But there are
movies,
few
man.
cover songs I've heard that are better than the original.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
I can't argue. But
Death's version of Painkiller.
oh yeah.
That might be the best metal cover of all time.
Well, you know who also did really
Yeah.
good covers was Metallica. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Merciful Fate covers. Awesome.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
yeah,
they're,
doing fucking Hell Be Thy Name.
yeah, I like Cradle of Filth when I got to see them in Kitchener, I believe it was, here in Ontario. Well, as soon as I heard about it, like, buddy, like, we're going. I'm like, I'm on my way. I'll meet you there, right? Flying down, fuck, fantastic.
That was probably one of the strangest shows I saw. Although I've seen them a few times, but the craziest time was like when they were doing like the Midian tour.
Mhm.
And they had the chicks like on the stilts walking around in the stage. The video I saw on that wasn't very big. And the one Sarah Jezebel chick that was doing the background vocals, somebody ran into her and she just didn't do the rest of the show.
Wow.
She was upset, and you could tell that they had been partying, dude, because
Yeah.
Danny was just
Yeah. All right. Sometimes it's better to be professional. Maybe I won't have to fear it all. Like,
they were having a good time. But I think one of the
Yeah.
coolest shows I saw was Dimmu Borgir back in the day. They were touring with Cannibal Corpse like '99 or 2000 because like don't think Bloodthirst had come out yet.
yeah,
But
that's a fantastic band.
yeah, dude. Freaking, they were all sick, dude. So they only played for like 40 minutes, but they all came out like in shorts and t-shirts and played in their pajamas, dude. It was really cool, like the whole black metal thing, like the lasers and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like wearing shorts and like t-shirts.
Yeah.
It was really cool though. It was awesome, man. It was really cool.
That's all right, eh? But I'd say the best show, craziest and best show I've ever seen was Rammstein when they first came to Canada. The first show ever was in Toronto, which at that time it was the Docks, I think it was. I've changed names several times, but that changed my outlook on what a live show should be. Right? I was like, all right, that's the new standard. You know what I mean? And still to this day, they're the only ones. They definitely blow everyone out of the water, even from big festivals to seeing, the small shows. There was what, 300 people at that show maybe, because no one knew who the fuck they were or nothing. Right?
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's. What about you, Den? Who was the best band that you've seen?
Iron Maiden and King Diamond.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw King Diamond this last time they came through, and it was so like it was probably one of the few shows where everybody sounded as good as the record. It was just crazy. Like Andy LaRocque actually sounds like himself. Like if that makes any sense. Like it was.
Oh, that dude's like awesome. Also, actually, it was Kiss back in when they reunited with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss.
Really? Wow.
And actually, that's a funny story too.
Psycho Circus, right?
Well, let's put it this way. You know how everyone at a Kiss concert dresses up as them?
Oh yeah.
Well, this one dude comes down during Ted Nugent, and we're talking. He's like, "You like the show?" I'm all, well, yeah, I like Ted Nugent, but I'm really here for Kiss because I'm a big Kiss fan. I was with my wife at the time, and the guy was dressed as Ace Frehley. Ted Nugent goes off. He's all, hey man, I'm gonna go get some beers. You want anything? I'm all, yeah, man, I'll take 2 beers for me and my wife. And he's like, cool. Well, you see, my manager had got us the show, so we were on the side of the venue that was closed off from the audience on our separate little area next to the stage where they walk out. And so here comes Gene, Paul, here comes Ace with 2 beers before he got on stage, hands it to me. He's on, here you go, man.
No way.
I was
That's
like,
awesome,
I
bro.
was like, what the fuck? And I found out my manager, Jay Smith, he actually contacted them and met up with them because it was my birthday that day. And he's all, that was my birthday present. I was like, afterwards, I was like, what the fuck? And, I met Paul, I met Gene and Peter and all them. And them guys were, awesome. I was like a child, like talking to them, but they gave a hell of a show, dude. Honestly, I didn't expect to see what I saw, and then Gene, because he sweats so much because of all that armor.
Yeah.
Well, he put his towel on the pyro and it caught on fire. I'm like pointing to him behind them while they were playing, and finally afterwards they noticed it was on fire, and it was really cool. Hey Edward, how's it going, man? My buddy over here.
Oh, nice. All right.
So give out, and he's from El Paso. So if you ever go down there, TJ and Matt, hook up with Edward. He'll take you out partying.
I'll be back down there sometime soon. This year, I got to be down. I'm not sure where I want to. My land's going to either be like Arizona, New Mexico. Kind of want it out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Utah, man.
Utah?
Yeah.
You got some open land where we could have like 4,000 people and no one's going to bitch.
I don't know.
Go rent a. You know what? What I would
Wyoming, dude, nobody's there. They don't mind.
I would actually go and try and talk to a rancher that has like 40,000 acres, something like that. Tell them, hey, can I rent this out for a venue, and we'll pick up everything, afterwards,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that would be awesome,
Yeah, that's why I want to buy it, because I want a winter home. I'm supposed to not work in the winters because I'm supposed to be seasonal, semi-retired, I call it, right? And,
what is it that you do, TJ?
I'm a roofer by trade now, right? So
cool. And Matt, do you got a job?
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You gotta. I don't know. Like we were talking earlier, you're not in it for the money when you first come into it. That's for sure. Man.
Well, I got like 3 jobs, and one of them's not even paying nothing right now, and that's the magazine because
well, this I do for free. I pay for like when I do the shows, I try to pay the bands all up front and shit, and try to everything. That's why I work. Like
exactly
to pay for this. If I didn't do this, I wouldn't have to work as hard, man. Just this is my retirement plan eventually. Get the land, and then the land becomes my winter home, and then during the winter is when I throw the big festivals, and then eventually you get enough festivals going and enough tours on the go that's what I do then.
You know what? Here's my suggestion: stop doing the shows during the summers when it's so hot. Do it during fall, during October, cooler.
That's why I need in the desert, because up here once it starts to snow, I can't do shit outside, man. And there's no way they're giving me a permit to build a building big enough to house as many people as I want,
Right. So what groups are you would you like to bring?
Oh, I would definitely for the death metal stuff, Deadwood, Thy Enemy, Kingdom of Nightmares, definitely Dead Man's Prophecy, and Last Dance Among Wolves. A couple more would probably be Act of Violence if we could get them. We just had Dying Oath on. They're actually out of bottom side of Virginia there. I forget. They're in around down there, and they would
You ought
be
to
sick
bring
to put on
Prophecy.
the bill, brother.
You ought to
Yeah,
get
they're
Prophecy.
Dead Man's Prophecy is fantastic. They were one of the first bands that, like, once I interviewed them and were shooting the shit, and then they won the Montreal heavy metal thing, like the online over the COVID, and as soon as they won, they invited me down for the big party that they had. So that was when it was like, yep, I'm on the right path, you know. And Dave and I have been brothers ever since in that sense. Like, been down a couple times. We've had them play at our main show now with Thy Enemy, King of Nightmares, right? And fantastic, bud. You definitely got it. I'll send you a whole list of shit, and then pick and choose the ones you want, and I'll get talking to them, and we'll set up a little thing in Mexico, baby. We'll go
Yeah,
South America, like, I'm down.
I'll introduce you to Maggie. Actually, Azteca, they do some venues down there too, and Juliet. I want to do my own show down there.
Mm.
I want to do something in Monterey, and I've been thinking about it. I need to contact the. It's called Latte Luna or something like that. It's a venue. It's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Testament played there and all that. I want to talk to them about doing something. I want to bring Matt down there, bring another band that's a little bit more well known to bring in the audience, and then get like Azteca.
Yeah.
And,
Cauterized, good buddies with Alex out of Cauterized. I don't know if you know them. They're pretty good. They'd be another good one on the. They're out of Texas, there actually.
I've heard of those guys before.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many bands out of
I know.
Texas.
I know, right?
Who's the guy in Cauterized? Maybe I do know.
Alex, first name. His last name, like I said, I'm terrible at pronunciations. And my tablet died, so I can't even look it up to make sure I say it right.
No, okay, it's not him. It's not the one that I know.
Yeah.
And also, you know who's also a real good band that's from El Paso. Not from El Paso, but from Ellis, Texas, is Sunshine.
Oh, they've just recently come up on my feed.
Yeah, they I think it's Sunshine. Hold on.
I think that's what it is. My tablet's dead. I can't look shit up, right?
Yeah, I'll
I'm like, fuck.
I know they redid a Testament song. Sundown. I think it is.
All right. I'll definitely keep an eye out for either one. I'll keep an eye out for. But yeah, we definitely got to talk more behind the scenes and maybe get something rocking. I don't know. The show in California this year that we're kind of last minute putting together for November, depending on who says yes or no, man, I don't know if you want to come down for that, either play or just come and party with us. Right?
Where's that?
It's going to be in Applewood. Probably don't want to. It's going to be 81 taps if we get the venue and stuff, right? If everything works out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, I'd come down there and play for sure, dude.
Yeah, shit, that'd be sick, man.
Yeah, it's not too far from. What part of California is it in?
Applewood. I'm not sure. It's 28-hour drive for me, so I'll probably fly down. I'm not sure yet, right? So
I think that's closer to
right outside of Vegas, like an hour or so, or not
Vegas,
Los Angeles there.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sounds like the Los Angeles area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I'd definitely come. That's not too far from me right now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm trying to pull in some local bands. I'm trying to get a couple of the bands from here to come, and then the other two guys I'm working with are getting a couple other bands. So it's looking like we're between 10 and 12 bands, 2 days, right?
Nice.
It'll be donations at the door. You guys get to keep your merch, your merch money, and then so.
Yeah, I know some. You what?
So sign me up.
Definitely me keep me in the loop so I can do an article on this.
Yeah, you and I will be talking a lot more and probably collabing, and I hope to look forward to working more, getting some of these world tours set up and fucking living the dream, baby.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely go in there. I'll talk to Maggie about your site. a lot of her groups, I don't know which ones speak English, but I
Yeah,
do know the ones that I'm working with, like Azteca and
even if they're
Khaled.
killer music, like I listen to a lot of stuff that's not even in English anymore and stuff, right? So
Good
I can
stuff.
always post if they've got videos, at least post their videos and help out that way. You know what I mean? And that's
Well, she's got one group that's really good right now and that I like, and that's on third, the third thrash.
mm,
Don't ask me about the name.
no,
It's
lost
just
in
one of them things,
translation.
but yeah, it's the third thrash, but they're a real good thrash band,
Yeah.
Um, so definitely is one group to check out as well.
Oh, for
And,
sure,
um,
man.
and then over there in the Philippines, I know a couple groups over there as well. Maybe you can do something with them as well. And
Oh,
I'll
that'd be killer, man. That'd be an honor, actually. Like,
and I'll get you in contact with DJen and see if she wants to do something with you.
oh, definitely, man. We're always,
Catarist production in the Philippines.
oh, sweet, definitely,
Yeah,
man. We're always looking for new people to work with and spread the word, like help everyone out, cross pollinate, as I call it, right?
yeah, and Matt, that way try and target your music more in the Philippines as well.
That'd be cool, yeah. I
You
got a
know,
few Spotify listeners over there. Fucking nice.
yeah,
Nice.
So yeah, just target a little bit more. You see,
Absolutely.
I
Every
need to
bit
know
helps, man.
what like where his label is targeting, so I can target the opposite. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah, there's like, I don't remember, like 126 different territories or some stuff. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what
Yeah,
it means.
yeah, I hear you. Like, I'll
That
get
that's
the
just
inside
like,
report on the boneyard that tells me the
yeah,
top cities and then top countries. But because
yeah,
I'm not on, like when I was on my computer before it shit the bed, I could click on the country and then it would tell me
Right,
which town and who. But with the
right,
phone and my tablet, it doesn't let me go that in depth. So I'm like, fuck,
right.
you know.
Yeah,
TJ, you saw my analytics, right? You saw my
Hmm.
map, right, where I'm
Yeah,
reaching.
yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's just from November,
yeah. No, that's fantastic. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I look forward to working together with everyone here in the future, man. Cause sounds like we're all going to Mexico, baby.
yeah.
Hopefully,
All
like
Dan, will they
right.
let you in? Will they let you back out?
Yeah.
say that again.
Dan, will they let you back in once they let you out?
All right.
That depends on you if you have a passport,
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
No
you got
matter
to
what,
remember.
we'll go no matter what. Whether we just go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
beach to drink beers or fucking we're on tour,
Hey,
we're
you know
going.
where we should try and go? If we're gonna go to Mexico, let's go to Cancun and visit Sammy
Yeah,
and go down to his
check out his
tequila.
bar and shit.
Yeah.
I
Um,
thought he sold that place. I thought he sold the Cabo Wabo thing.
probably.
You know what? Last time I heard that he still had it, but I might be
We got
wrong.
a keychain from
Yeah,
there.
'cause-
My boss just went there right after we finished doing the building and got me
oh,
a
really?
keychain from the bar there. Yeah. See, well, he knows I'm such a huge music fan. They're actually really they work with me. Like if I got to get off early to do an
That's
interview or
cool.
something, right? Or if I'm going on tour with a band to fucking cover everything and stuff, they're like, all right, just let us know, you know.
You're your
So,
sponsor for your festival, man.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to them about that. I
Oh,
mean,
I should, because we built the shop the whole time. It's 60 by 100. I'm like, okay, so the stage is going back there. By the time we were done building the skeleton of the structure, he was like, so the stage is actually going to go over here. Like, just because I talked
Bar.
about it so much, right? So we'll see.
That's great, man.
that if you want, I'll get a hold of like Mike Browning from Nocturnus AD, and
Oh, definitely,
also
brother.
I can
Definitely.
ask Jeff and you know get you his email and the guys from Venom Inc. and also uh, Exandria as well. Talk to Marco. Because he's their manager of the band as well as
Yeah.
the guitarist, and talk to him and get you some well-known names. Right there for your festival.
Fuck, that'd be sick, brother. And then, yeah, we'll definitely work together on that one. And
Yeah, bring that over there and have him, somewhere
100%.
in the middle.
I'm still working on my heavy metal fest here in Canada. It's finding a venue that will support the show that I want. Right? It's been a pain in the ass to work it in favor of the bands. Like you said, they want to take a percentage of this, they want that, they want this. It's like,
What about like a Legion Hall?
I thought about that because the Legion's actually very good for that. They just, you know what I mean? Like, I just never reached out to a Legion yet, actually, to see if they'll let me put on something like that.
Dude, they do that stuff here all the time, or like, Grange halls.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, anything where you can have a PA, man.
Huh. Yeah. I'm gonna go deeper into that and take a look around. I know Legions are always hurting for money in that sense. Like, they've opened to the public now. You don't have to be a member anymore to go in up here in Canada. So,
right. Is it the Canadian Legion or the American Legion?
Well,
Canadian.
you can do both. You can do both. Even the national.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dude, there you go. There's how you can book your tour right there. Every single.
Just go.
Oh wait, I got one more.
Tour.
I got one more. Even the National Guards. You can actually rent out the army. Exactly.
Here where I live, I seen Megadeth in the armory there. I see Children of Bodom.
That would be killer, man.
So I mean, you can actually, do this. You just gotta contact them, and you gotta get your own security for the venue. But
that's easy enough. Once you come out and finalize that app, I'll be able to find all the people I need. Right?
And the funny thing is, it really depends on the people if they want to promote it. Like I asked James Murphy, he just didn't want to do it because he's already well known with his mixing and studio and mastering.
Cross conflict of interest almost,
So, but I still could possibly talk to him and see if I can put it as a database, his address and all that. I think he just wants to keep all that kind of personal.
Private,
Yeah.
Maybe have a secondary contact that they got to go through him before they go to him or something,
Yeah. Well, Matt would know about that.
He can pick and choose.
Yeah, I know James somewhat, and he's a really nice guy, total professional, awesome guitar player, great producer, but he's a pretty private dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was talking to people, they'd be knocking on his door all day long.
I hear that. I got flooded with emails and messages. Couldn't imagine if I was like people knew where I was.
Like everybody nowadays, if you're on social media, you got notifications every 10 minutes.
It's unreal, man. Yeah.
Sorry about my AC kicked on.
Oh, that's all right. The cat was meowing earlier.
Yeah,
that weird sound. I was looking off in the distance. Yeah, that was the cat running around doing shit. Fuck, man. Like I said, we ended up talking a whole another hour. So.
Yeah, we did like practically 3 hours.
Right. I love these conversations and stuff, but sometimes most people like to keep it under an hour, but sometimes it's an hour and a half, and then I leave it up to the guests, But
well, me and Matt,
I'm shutting them down. I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, let me go to the store. I'll be right back, man.
Yeah. All right.
My dinner here.
Yeah, I've done that before. Fucking get in, especially when my work season starts. We'll work till it gets dark, 9 o'clock, and then interview at 9, 10. I'm eating fucking chicken wings.
Hey, TJ, do you upload this on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and a couple other channels right now. So
cool. Just tag me on the YouTube for this interview under Pure Metal of Gods magazine.
Yeah, send me over the links through the messenger there, and I'll update the title, and then that way we'll tag everybody everywhere you want to be tagged and shit, and then people can follow those links to all the shit you guys have got going on and doing that.
Definitely. Like I said, I'm gonna give a shout out to a bunch of people right now, like Edward.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
My buddy, from El Paso. I mean, love you to death, Edward. Jeff Bracero from Possessed. Love you. Thank you for everything, Jeff. Tony Dunlin, thank you for Venom Inc. James Murphy, Eddie, Joe, Matt, Geo from Pissing Razors, love you guys. Terry from Pissing Razors Manager, love you. You know, the band keeps going because of you. Um, let's see, you know, my hun, my babe, you know, thank you so much for being a good support. And, well, Matt, want to thank Matt, you know,
No
Calad.
problem, dude.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. You're one of the most returning guests now. Between you and Ren and my buddy Dave now. So
Dude,
I'll have to
next
go
time we'll
back
talk
through
for
and
6
see.
hours.
Yeah.
6 hours.
I was gonna say you and I always have the longer conversations, though, man. Every time you come on, it's guaranteed 2 hours of conversation, right?
Right.
Well,
Absolutely. Yeah.
well, now that you have me, it's going to get longer.
I know.
I
Next
don't
time,
doubt that, man.
yeah, we'll just book you in for the whole day next time. We'll have lunch and dinner together. Maybe have a couple beers.
Yeah, right now,
Intermission.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I would have had my camera set up and all that. Just, I already started packing everything to move into my new place.
Yeah.
So the only thing I got to do now is just mantle the desk, the keyboard, the mixer, the mics.
Nice.
I got like, believe it or not, I got like 4 different microphones that I can
Right on.
choose
And
from.
maybe we can play some of your music live while we're sitting here shooting the shit about it, man. And then,
Oh, that'd be cool as hell. Yeah. Dude,
that
I
would
think,
be wicked. I'll get him
Yeah.
to run it through his board for us, like he did in the little interview there, and then.
Yeah, Dan, we did that last time too, and you know, for some reason, dude, copyright stuff's always a bitch. So it
I
can't be
know it's fucking like you could be sitting there, like I said, talking to you, and then
You
we
know
throw
what's
on
funny
your
about
music,
that?
and then poof,
I can't even.
we get
I'm
shut
not even
down.
making any money
But
off
but
it.
you want to know what's funny about that? Look, you know the labels want to get them promoted and want to get their music out there. Well, I mean, while I'm doing an interview, they should whitelist the person that's doing the interview. So
It's not. I don't think it's them. I think it's the format that it's on. But it
Yeah,
has
and
to be
the
approved by them.
the bot
no,
that they
but
have that
like
looks
when
for
you
that
send your
music,
email, when you
it's
send that
not
email,
people.
but when you send that email, right, and you give them, hey, this is the YouTube channel, they can go themselves that are licensing the song and you go, hey, you know what? We're going to put him on the whitelist because he was on the interview. It's his
No,
music.
I don't doubt that at all. I'm not saying that's not true or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
because like when I did your other songs, your older ones that weren't licensed, I only got it for one song and I showed you what song it was and they still haven't done anything.
I remember the first time I got shut down. I was doing an interview with my stepdad. Actually, this was long ago now, man. And Metallica came on the radio in the background, and they fucking shut me down because of that. I was like, "What? You can't play this video or edit the music out?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I didn't even know what they were talking about until I rewatched the video, and then it finally gave me the fucking name and shit. And it's like, holy crap.
I'll do like guitar stuff, my own music on Facebook, and I kept getting copyright strikes. I had to like have some proof, like documentation, sent from, you know, going, hey, you know, this is this guy's music, and they'll. What's funny though is like if you do a short though, and you're like doing a cover or something like that, and you tag the artist in it, it'll show like I did one for maybe a tune, a couple of them, and you can see in the bottom corner the album cover from the album the song was from, and it's just like that's okay. I mean, but you know, it's like your own stuff. You know?
I think that's where the natural evolution for myself is to get onto the radio and be able to start playing this music, you know, for the bands, right?
Community here in the States, anyway. I have a friend named Omar who does the metal mixtape, and he's done some really, really, really good interviews, and he's been in like Blabbermouth. His interviews have been in like stuff on metal injection, shit like that. And hell of a nice guy, and he's on community radio, and as long as he doesn't play 2 songs by the same artist, I think with it on a show, it's totally cool, man. So I'll shoot you his stuff if you want to learn more about.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out.
try community radio because they'll give you like anywhere here in the States, it's an FM frequency. I mean, I don't know anything about Canada, but like,
Yeah.
it can't be done, dude. It can't be.
A lot of ours is internet stuff. Like
right, yeah. Yeah,
right.
his is both because like you can listen to because it's live every Thursday. You can listen to listen to it on the radio and listen to it on the internet. So.
Oh yeah, right on.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my songs.
I think his cat heard it.
Right.
Yeah, here, just for one of your fans, your audience.
Yeah. You have to send that to me so I can hear it in my headphones, like the stereo, like you know.
Yeah, this
I love
song,
that stuff.
This song I wrote back in 2000, and actually
Dude, it sounds like the stuff the guy from the Sounds the Lambs was
Yeah.
like some it sounds like new wave music kind of.
Well, it was kind of a different direction. I created a whole new style, fusing drums and Brazilian, fusing it with rock.
Right.
And, so on the guitars, what I decided to do is when you hear it, wow, kind of like something like a person would do on, but I would be picking it, and also mixed up with the wow. And,
I can't barely hear you, my dude.
I was gonna say all I can hear is the music getting louder.
What, is it still playing?
Oh yeah, but it's louder. There you go. That's better.
Okay.
There you go.
Man, yeah, I can hear better.
I'm sure you said some amazing things right there.
Well, some Brazilian rhythms and stuff like that.
Yeah, I fused it with some Brazilian, Indian rhythms, also with rock on the drums, and basically the song actually really launched our careers, and because everywhere that we went, it was in LA to San Antonio to wherever, it was always at the strip clubs playing. All the strippers were dancing to the song because it had a unique groove. And I remember one time I was doing an interview, some chick called in up in New Zealand saying that she would masturbate to the song.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, I was like, I never thought.
Dude, told her to put the speaker on the floor, man.
It was kind of weird because I didn't think the song was one of my best songs, and it actually became one of it. And it's all about my wolf that died. And I found this pup when we were touring in Canada. We actually had to hit his mom.
Oh.
You know how the alpha pups would follow their moms when they would go out hunting or whatever. Well, it was during the winter time, and we actually hit the mother wolf, and we heard this pup whimpering, so I went and found the pup, and I was like, I'm going to take it with me. I brought it back to the States, and that dog became my best friend. Drank together, everything. I mean, he was really cool. I love that dog. And when he passed away, I was all heartbroken, devastated. So I wrote a song called "The Wolf Within." It was about him.
Dude, my sister had an alligator. No shit, and she got one, and she had it for a while, and it was probably like this big, and it bit our cousin's daughter. She was probably like maybe 6 or 7. True story.
Huh.
No bullshit, dude. No bullshit.
I'd say the craziest thing we ever had was it was probably just over 9 feet, a big python my cousin had when we lived together. That thing was, you do the dishes, it just lay all on you and shit. But every once, you kept an eye on him, made sure he wasn't getting too tight, right? You're like, oh, stretch him back out, right? But
Yeah,
he was wicked.
I had one of my friends named Tarzan back in El Paso. He had a python, and I don't know what happened, but this python never attacked anybody, right? So I don't know if it was getting at that time period where they shed.
They get aggressive when they do that, right?
Well, he picked it up, and the python bit him right on the neck. I was like, it was a bad bite too. I remember.
They got fangs on them like an inch and a half long, bud. Like that hurts.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I gotta get going because I've drank all my water, my juice, my pop.
Yeah, 3 hours on here.
Okay, great. Yeah, right. If I know, I would have got a whole case right here, bud.
Exactly. I'm gonna go run down to the store and get something to eat, man. I'm like starving.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey,
yeah,
Matt, it was a pleasure again. TJ, nice meeting you. I love the whole thing on the boneyard. It's kind of cool.
Hey, thank you, man.
My friends were over here. Hey, isn't that the Aussies boneyard on Syria? Well, no, dude, it's something totally different.
Yeah, somebody warned me about it. They're like, they're gonna get that confused with the Aussies boneyard. It's like, yeah, they might, but I've actually had the boneyard under my name with YouTube and shit longer than that was around, which is fucking hilarious, right? Everyone's like, it's almost like a band, you put out 5 albums and you get famous on your 6. And then everyone's it's like, no, I've been doing it a while. Yeah.
That's cool. Matt, you going to give anybody a shout out this time?
Plenty of people. You guys, of course. My buddy Tony from Spawn. James. Marco. Freaking, man, there's Christian. There's just so many people, dude. Like, I don't know. My son.
That's a whole nother show. Whole hour.
For boot camp right now. I miss you, man. Hope you're down there kicking ass and taking names. So.
Yeah.
Anyway. Everybody that I know.
Yeah. Everyone that watches, man, definitely, huge shout out to Hollywood for behind the scenes. You can't do it without a team, And
thank you, Hollywood.
Yeah, I'll get you in touch with her for sure. I'll send you over her email, and then you can, if you're looking to hire someone to help you at your end, I'm sure she's able to do that. I can't speak for her, but she probably won't deny it.
Yeah, I mean, someone to help me schedule the interviews, that would be great, especially on, doing the podcasting and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, she's done she turned our show around to a little more professional, and how it runs and shit. Cause back then I was drinking a lot too, man. So, you try to write it down, you forget. Oh, bud, yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. But I've been this year I've been sober pretty well the whole year off of booze so far.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, really good.
I did the first month, your New Year's resolution. I'm not gonna drink. I ended up doing 2 full months. Then I had a couple beers. Some buddies went to the studio, a couple beers there. Got doing the radio, a couple beers there, and I'm like, oh. Then a friend of mine, I'm actually heading out to BC to visit her and stuff. She just had surgery, so she can't drink. So I was like, I'll tell you what, I won't drink until I come see you. And just so I had that extra motivation to be like, I could feel myself slipping back into, oh no, I'm just having 1 beer, 3 beers, 6 beers, like fuck, So yeah, it's been a struggle, man, but I'm fucking doing it, man, and it's paying off,
Dude, good for you. You should be proud, dude. Fucking, that takes fucking balls, dude. Good for you. Absolutely.
And a lot of it comes from the show, just talking to so many artists, like you said, that don't party or no longer party and shit. Getting sober and stuff
dude,
definitely helps, 100%.
Absolutely, man. For sure, dude. Right on.
Yeah. Next up,
Yeah.
cigarettos, and then that's it. That's my last bad habit, other than burning weed a little, probably too much, but
You know,
you know.
Quick advice, bro.
Yeah. One at a time, baby.
I actually switched from smoking cigarettes to the vape, and I got 1 year and almost 3 months, not even a cigarette anymore. Now I want to
Yeah.
quit the vape.
Nice.
See, up here with the vape and shit, it looks too much like the weed cartridges and shit. So at work, you can't be up there. We can't even smoke on the roof because some of our products are flammable and shit, right? But they let you have those, but they know I have one that's full of weed, so I'd rather just have no questions. I'll leave that. I'll
No
smoke.
questions asked. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
yeah, like so. It's like fuck. But what do you do, right? They pay good money, man. At least I could do is be silver while I'm there. Right? Fucked up way to say it, right? But it's so true, right? Like, but
very
once
cool.
again, man, you guys have been a pleasure. I look forward to maybe you guys obviously will be on the show again here soon.
Oh, yeah.
Matt's got some new stuff coming out, so we'll hit you up when that comes out, right? And
Absolutely.
Dean and I will be talking a lot here behind the scenes, and you'll definitely welcome on anytime.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah. And then, so play it loud, play it proud, baby. And send me the links, guys, so I can update the title. And
Oh, yeah,
once
dude.
again, man, what a fucking pleasure. Honor again tonight, man.